It's time to get real on the internet with Squarespace, because Squarespace makes it easier than ever to launch your passion project. Whether you're showcasing your work or selling products of any kind, Squarespace has beautiful templates, and they've got the ability to customize just about anything, so you can easily make a website all by yourself. But if you do get stuck, Squarespace's 24/7 award-winning customer support is there to help. Head to squarespace.com/bombcast for a free trial, and when you're ready to launch, use the offer code BOMBCAST to save 10% off your first purchase of a website or domain. Welcome everybody to this American Bombcast. I'm Jeff Gerstmann here in the United States of the United States. I'm joined by Jeff Bakalar. How you doing, sir?
I'm doing all right. You seem like you are in some sort of police interrogation. Do you have a very bright light? You have a very bright light on your face, and I wonder what you did. Where were you on the night?
I can soften
January 3rd.
January 3rd.
2001.
What were you doing? January 3rd. If you know what I mean. What? Wait, what? No, yeah, I don't know. The lighting in this room is just getting weirder and weirder. It's heating up outside, so I'm like, what if I keep it dark? But
yeah, that's the move.
Actually, I don't think
nighttime is the right time. Yeah.
Get some blackout curtains like I do.
These are well, I guess they're not,
keeps it nice
blackout,
nice
but
love me some Duvetine.
Yeah, Jason A. Stryker keeping it dark.
Keeping it dark, yeah, that's my catchphrase.
I like that.
I think that's the you got your t-shirt, the underwear line, all that stuff.
Right.
I think it's working out pretty well, and we're all excited. We'll have an offer code for it later. Dan Ochoa is here as well. Hi.
That's right. I hate jumping rope.
All right, hang on.
Who asked you?
Well, like Jeff threw it to me, so I assumed I could do whatever I wanted with the toss,
Mm-hmm.
I guess you got to keep the volley going.
Yeah.
What's wrong with jump? Okay.
Oh, nothing is wrong with jump roping. I just hate the activity of it because I'm still trying to lose extra Jan. I know summer's almost over, but I'm trying to capitalize to get into like hot Jan summer.
Mm-hmm.
Wait, you're trying to lose what?
Extra Jan.
Did you say
extra Jan?
Extra Jan?
Yeah, little chubs
got too much
going around. Yeah.
You're just saying there's too much Jan.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm fine with the amount of Jan.
Thank you, Jake.
That there is.
Thank you.
Yeah, I think you're in a sort of Goldilocks zone of Jan, in my fair opinion, is how I
golden
describe
era.
It.
I was thinking about your window.
It's never going to be this good again. Wait.
I was thinking about your window, Gerstmann, now that I was commenting on your lighting situation, and it got me thinking of the honey bucket. And then when I thought of the honey bucket, I thought of porta potties in general, and got me thinking about.
All right, we'll take a break. We'll be back after this.
Right in the back.
And then look, I got plenty of porta potty stories for y'all if you really want to indulge me. But yeah, it's the long shattered history of porta potty incidents. Anyway, got me thinking about. Yeah, it got me thinking about Preakness, which is a horse race in Maryland that I used to go to when I was in college, and people would run along the top.
Their thing. You get down with the Preakness.
Right, there it is. Horses. And you run across the tops of the porta potties. There's a bunch of these videos on YouTube. It's actually a really sad sight because it doesn't really end too well for the people that attempt to run across the tops of porta potties. Then it also got me thinking about the documentary up on HBO, the Woodstock 99 documentary. And my gosh, I did not know that Woodstock 99 was a fucking nightmare. In every sense of the word. Have you seen this? Do you know what happened at Woodstock 99?
Brown acid. This is the one where they said do eat the brown acid, right? This is.
I mean, We're only halfway through this fucking hellscape that is this documentary, and it paints such a horrifically depressing picture of what Woodstock 99 must have been like. I mean, everyone's, and they actually go back and they're like, hey, you know what? Woodstock 69 wasn't so fucking peachy either. Seems like the only good one might have been 94, and that was like the mud one, which had its own problems also. Right. That was the Green Day mud one, yeah. But like, do yourself a favor. It's almost anxiety inducing just how horrific the conditions at Woodstock 99 was. They fucking had it at a decommissioned military base, and they built a wall around it and called it the Peace Wall. They built a wall around a festival that stands for freedom and love and peace.
Because they wanted to contain it,
a wall around it.
They didn't want the outside to poison the vibes.
They didn't want people sneaking in without a ticket, for peace, man.
They didn't want any of the peace to get out of it, apparently.
Lifestyle. Yeah.
And then they interview, like, what's his face from Korn, and, like Dexter Holland and Noodles from The Offspring. And I love, like, The Offspring had to be, like, the calming voice in that concert where they were just like, stop fucking assaulting people, you crazy motherfuckers. It is a wild ride. I mean,
how do you think really so far based on what you know of both events, how does it compare to Altamont? Is it like a 3/4 Altamont? Is it a half?
I don't know
Altamont?
What that is.
Altamont was in the 60s. I don't know. That was like the Rolling Stones concert where the Hells Angels worked security and a bunch of people fucking
I know
died.
About that. I know about that. I saw that in another documentary. Maybe that was just about the Rolling Stones. I'm not sure, but it also occurred to me, for Woodstock 99, that the promotion of that festival was like pointing right at me. It was like, Jeff, go a couple hours to New York and go to Woodstock 99. And I remember looking at the lineup back then and being like, fuck, I don't give a shit about half these bands. Like, I don't want to go there. But also, like, it was directly marketed to, like, our demographic of that time. Like, I was 17 in 99, and that was like, go to Woodstock 99, young Jeff, and see what life is really like. And my God, it never occurred to me to even go. Man, am I glad I didn't go. None of these things really appeal to me. Like 4-day long festivals. Like
festivals.
Yeah, I go to shows all the time. Growing up, went to shows all the time. Been to hundreds and hundreds of shows. But man, no thank you, Woodstock. No thank you. Don't want any of that. No thank you.
You know what's fun is trying to fly a drone through EDC, which is the giant rave that goes on lately.
Yeah.
And then like the person is just telling you over your shoulders, like, all right, I just need a good shot of this Ferris wheel. But everyone at this Ferris wheel, as soon as they see a drone, starts throwing crap at the drone because they're all high out of their minds.
I mean, it's like when you do a festival of this magnitude, you're basically doing a hyper accelerated human civilization sim, right? Like, you're just basically letting all of humanity evolve from like its very core to like, the end times. And you're doing it in a hyper compressed,
like a habitat server or whatever it is.
It's a biodome, if you will, right? Yeah. And it's just like, it's just a huge anthropological social experiment. And it's just like, yep, you form factions, right? You kill the weak ones and you eat them, and like that's what happens. And I feel
Yellow
like
shirt guys found knives. They evolved into knife wielders.
They rise to the top. They're at the top of the food chain. Then oh man, it is what a trip. What a trip. Check it out.
I am looking over the roster for Woodstock 99. And trying to just like
take us back.
What a mess of a lineup too. Like and also the corporate sponsorship of AMP3.com emerging artists stage, where they've got people I've never heard of and also do not have Wikipedia pages. That's how their career went, I guess, after that. But hey, Friday on the West stage, you got Buck Cherry.
I don't know who that is.
They had that cocaine song. Right?
Yeah, they did that song about they love the cocaine.
The lead singer just looks like cocaine. I hate that. That sounds mean, but I just think of cocaine when I look at that guy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was that. They did the song about Crazy Bread and all that sort of stuff. The East stage has Korn and Bush and DMX and James Brown live.
This is the the DMX where he had the red overalls.
Yes, exactly.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
And like
Sheryl Crow.
Oh, dude.
Of course.
Yeah.
He was everywhere.
And then it's so funny. They take a second to talk to Moby, or at least they talk to Moby now.
He was on the emerging artist stage then. Moby emerging in 99 before we truly knew.
I'm not a huge Moby fan, but the thing about Moby is, I know. The thing about Moby is they interview him now and he's like, "Oh, I've been to all these venues. I know exactly what the vibe of a venue is going to be 10 seconds after I get there." And to hear him go back to 99 and be like, "I walked through that crowd for 4 seconds and I was just like, no. This is going to be terrible." It's kind of, I guess hindsight's 2020, but oh man.
Yeah.
A lot of weird shit went down.
Oh, they had
Jewel time.
Yeah, they had Bijou Phillips. What?
So you have to watch it. If anything, just for the time capsule that it represents, and it's not that long ago. You're talking 22 years ago, but maybe I guess that is a long time ago.
I mean, anyone conceived at Woodstock 99 can drink legally, so I feel like that's
a while ago.
That's a while ago. Okay, some other so this was multiple days. So Saturday, the 24th of July. July also, I bet that was real pleasant.
Yeah, it was 150 degrees.
We've got hit bands like Guster.
Guster slaps,
Bruce
man.
Hornsby.
Yeah,
without the range. Everclear, Ice Cube.
Okay.
Mickey Hart and Planet Drum. So he's the drummer from the Grateful Dead, the Chemical Brothers, and Los Lobos. Over on the East stage, you got such acts as Alanis Morissette, Kid Rock, the Dave Matthews Band, Rage Against the Machine, Limp Bizkit. Man, this is
what a
two
slice.
Skinny J's over on the Emerging Artist stage. Great, with Fatboy Slim
and Gigolo Aunts.
Yeah, ICP was there.
Yeah.
I just
Our Lady Peace on Sunday. Our Lady Peace and Seven Dust and Collective Soul. Man, you got to be there. Oh, also Megadeth. Like what?
Oh, hang on. Yo, they had Godsmack.
They had Godsmack.
Yeah, they had Godsmack.
Was that before or after I Walk Alone? That's the only song I know.
I don't know.
That probably was. That probably would have been right around there. I feel like that's the. I don't know.
It really
song
is.
That took them to Woodstock.
Right.
If you ever just wanted to spit at your TV screen, just actually spit on your screen in disgust, watch this documentary and just really take it in. I know it's fun to call the 90s real bad, but man, this doc really just serves it up on a silver platter. Holy shit!
The 90s are the 90s terrible? Were the 90s terrible for music? And the answer is not for hip hop. There was some amazing.
We're not talking about, dude. The music's the least of the 90s problem, I think.
Oh sure, yeah. Okay, well, were the 90s bad is a different question because
it is the
Friends
fact that
was on in the 90s. It's
I mean,
a bad time for the culture.
The doc goes into a real, there's a very upsetting sexual assault angle to Woodstock 99, right. And the doc is just like, hey, remember fucking Girls Gone Wild? And you're just like, Jesus fucking Christ, what was going on? And that whole thing. And it's just really a whole lot of head shaking there.
It's it's that stuff at its peak in a lot of ways.
Oh,
well, no, I mean, not even at its peak because that was where it really was getting hyper commodified and then that led to all the Jackass and all that other stuff and everything that kind of came in its wake. And yeah, I don't know.
I'm biased.
Yeah.
I grew up in the 90s.
It was big for you.
Child.
I mean, I did too. Like, you know, I was a teenager for half of it. You know, like.
Yeah, I mean, I got my driver's license in what 92.
Damn.
So like I was, you know, operating a vehicle and out all night on weekends, listening to music in a car for the majority of the 90s.
Guster.
Yeah, just bumping Guster.
I Stand Alone came out in 02, so
okay.
They did not perform this. Man,
maybe they could have, you know, we'll have to go back and look at the documentary. Maybe there was an early version of the song and they could have performed, or you know,
something. They premiered at Woodstock, and that got everybody riled up.
Debuting it. The album's not gonna be out for a couple of years, bro. But...
Man, what a great song! What a great song! Love that song.
It's got me twisted up in a little ball of anxiety.
It's like they say, I love the 90s.
They just say
Hal
that.
Sparks at.
Yeah, where is he?
Where is Hal Sparks?
You know what threw me for a loop, since we're talking about the 90s, is that there was like a movie trilogy that popped onto Netflix recently called Fear Street, and the first entry was 1994, and I thought I read it wrong at first. That's like, 84, because that's the year that's always brought up in movies, but no, it was 94, and then I was feeling some type of way that the 90s were now like a period piece to draw back to.
Sure.
The 90s came back. I feel like the 90s came back and are now sort of on their way out again.
I hate the fashion of the 90s, though. I'll say that.
Yeah.
You're not like a big
very bad.
cross
Jinko
colors.
Jeans. Yeah.
No, Jinko jeans. That's more like late 90s, right? I mean, I'm thinking like the kind of in living color era hypercolor T-shirts and like the vaguely ravey aesthetic
of the vague rave. Not a big fan of.
Yeah.
Chunky sneakers, never been a fan. Can't do it.
But the big chunky sneakers was more kind of like year 2000, like.
Was that before or after the pumps? Were the pumps a 90s thing?
First era of pumps were 80s. The first era of Reebok pumps, I want to say, were like late 80s. I could be wrong.
Do you ever have the one that they were like little tennis balls?
Yeah,
those are the coolest.
The pumps.
I had a pair of the Nike. Well, I think it was the Nike equivalent of the pump, where it didn't have. No, maybe these were still Reeboks, but like it came with a freaking. You put a CO2 cartridge in it was like a separate little thing that you could use to inflate your shoes. There was like a little valve on your shoe.
Why?
And I imagine you could probably just do whippets out of those things too, because it was basically the exact same
charger
looking thing. Yeah. But like there was just a little valve on the side of the shoe that you could just like hook that into and just pump your shoe up right there without having to sit there and manually pump it up like some kind of loser.
Hey, what PSI is my sneaker supposed to be?
Running a little low. Yeah.
Man,
I got another one over here in my pellet gun, so get the fuck back.
Sneaker gimmicks are the shit, though. I remember I must have had maybe they're LA Gear. I want to say they were called the Catapult, maybe, where the idea was that they contained some sort of nonsensical spring system in their heels, which gave you, in my mind, cartoonish jumping ability. Like as if LA Gear would manufacture motherfucking sneakers that would just have kids jumping 11 feet in the air all around recess. Ugh.
Yeah,
it was so dumb.
What about LA lights? What about the would light up on the heel?
Oh,
when you...
hell yeah.
Dude, the lights are back in a big way. My kids got a pair of Skechers that light up, and they're like LEDs, so the battery lasts forever, and they do kind of like a flashy light show in a way that the LA Gear ones were those were bullshit. I mean,
I remember hearing stories about people trying to run away from the cops, like running into the woods, and they had their LA lights on, and they were just like not a problem to find them. Like,
yeah.
No idea how true any of that was, but my daughter's got shoes that look like pandas or bees, and they squeak when she walks.
Hell yeah!
I've got some of those
and
as
these
well.
Like
Griffin had those.
Yeah,
they have an off switch. Did you know that?
Yep. Yeah.
Yep.
But
yeah, we found that.
I don't want to turn them off. I don't want to turn them off. I want I want to hear her squeaking around the house, and she doesn't wear shoes inside very often.
It's a good noise.
Yeah. Definitely. That's a pretty good shoe gimmick, I think, too. I wish I could get those in shoes that were my size.
There's some Etsy shop out there.
Yeah. Maybe I could retrofit them into a pair of these Jordans. Well, they're not even there anymore. They're in a box somewhere. Anyway, video games.
All right.
There's some of these. Hey, they ran that Back 4 Blood beta, or I guess the first phase of that Back 4 Blood beta opened up. This was the closed version of the open beta, the closed open beta, and then the open beta is going to start
going on now.
Is it like the United States just closing and opening all the time now?
Exactly. Yeah. No, they closed the borders and said only people who pre-ordered the game can get in now. And now they opened it up, or I don't know if it's open. I actually don't know the dates on that, but they are going to open it up more widely in the near future here. But it's one of those things where they're like, if you're watching on Twitch, you get some hot drops and you get a key to the beta, and all that sort of stuff too. So
hot drops.
We played some of this on the show on Friday, and I went into it kind of cold, thinking never a big Left 4 Dead fan, not really my thing, and this definitely seems like more of the same. And that's everyone prior to me trying it was like, this is basically Left 4 Dead 3, and I'm like, all right, well, let's give it a go. I want to see what this looks like anyway. And it's cool. I think the things they're doing with the abilities, the card based abilities and stuff like that, I think are kind of neat.
This is made by Turtle Rock, ex Left 4 Dead folks, right?
Yes, yeah. So that's the Left 4 Dead team. They I don't know how many people have come and gone, but they made those games with Valve and all that sort of stuff. And it is still a 4-player co-op shooter against crazy zombies, and you're shooting them and you're hitting them with bats and all the things you do in these types of games, right? I mean, it's not like reinventing the wheel or anything like that, but I think they do the gunplay, I think, feels really good, and I liked the ideas around the perks and stuff you would get out of the cards. Basically you're building a deck that you take into your game, and then you are picking a handful of cards before that stuff starts, and then you will pick negative cards as well. So it was this idea of okay, well, I want 10% more health, I want a stronger or faster reloading time, be able to hold more ammo, stronger melee attack, like all that sort of stuff. But then it was now pick a negative one. Oh, okay. Do I want it to be foggy, or do I want some other negative perk? And then I chose fog on the show, and it looked like an N64 game.
It did get real foggy.
Got real foggy. And I thought that stuff was pretty well done, and I think the gunplay feeling really nice was enough for me to go okay, I'm actually into this. I don't know how much of that I'm necessarily going to play, but it seems well made for what it is. And the weapons felt effective, I guess. That stuff I thought was maybe the standout thing is so many games doing zombie shooters and stuff like that. It's always hyper limited ammo, or just they're doing the survival horror type stuff that Resident Evil made popular, where it's you got 9 bullets, son. You're fuck this, this. But
you were dumping on these zombies.
Yeah, and taking them down too. And I'm sure it's gonna have difficulty settings and all that stuff, but it didn't necessarily feel like every one of these zombies was a gigantic bullet sponge, and that I was you really felt like you could move through them, and I thought that was cool. Bigger guys obviously are gonna take more bullets. That's duh. But yeah, I came away from that thinking hey, this seems really neat. So give that a look. If it's as that beta continues to open up and just become easier for people to access, then hey, I think
it's very stressful watching you play that, and just reminded me of the stress of playing Left 4 Dead proper. or like the original Left 4 Dead's. I get the thing. I think we're all like remarking on was like, oh, you could just drop in, drop out, automatically swaps in an AI person. But I guess that was the original
Left 4 Dead
feature.
did that.
Okay,
yeah,
all right.
But you forget about, it's been a long time since those games came out. I feel like a lot of co-op games have come and gone, and that isn't always a feature in those types of games. And you're like, well, I guess there's just 3 of us now. We're screwed. So having that stuff be a part of it definitely is nice. And I don't know, it feels good, but and also it seems like we're at I was gonna say the start, but maybe it's more like the middle or the first third of a wave of this type of co-op game. Definitely felt like all the E3 announcements this year, it felt like everyone was just like, here's our co-op game. Like, oh, okay.
With 4 people.
With friendly fire. That's right. I was disappointed to find out that was the thing.
Yeah, you gotta be careful. We gotta look out.
Man. I'm pumping fucking red.
I wasn't sure if that was doing. I wasn't sure. Have you played much of it? I wasn't sure if it was doing a ton of damage when I was shooting other players. There's definitely like voice lines were just like, stop fucking shooting me. Okay, yeah. So
I was just looking through the options, and the difficulty settings determined how much damage you would do.
Were there pills? Were there pills?
I did. Yes, I found some sort of pills, but I like my love of Left 4 Dead starts and stops at a guy going, pills here, pills. like Bill yelling about pills is kind of all I ever wanted out of those games. And like the Chicago Ted graffiti, like that's all I care about those games. So like the rest of it was just like, oh, this seems well made, and I'm not enjoying it at all. But enjoying it in limited circumstances. It was like if you get 4 friends together and you're playing through it, but like I never had friends that were just like, let's get the Left 4 Dead crew together. I'm like, no, just never happened. So yeah, it's I don't know, it seems cool. And I was pretty impressed with it. Cool. Bacalar, you played some Splitgate. I also played a little Splitgate.
Yeah, split some gates.
Taking the world by storm, this thing.
Yeah, I mean, it seems to have popped in a pretty big way. But we tried to do some stuff last Friday, but their queuing system, which leaves a lot to be desired in terms of expedition and timeliness. But I guess, servers got to, cool down or whatever it is that they're having to deal with. And then after
I think is what there's like.
What better way to cool down your electronics than to just pour cold water
cooled? That's the thing,
right?
You want that.
What do you think that is?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that game is a lot of fun. I feel like I'm enjoying the shooty bits a little bit more than the portal bits.
Yep.
The sort of elevator pitch for this game is Halo meets Portal, and I actually think that's pretty accurate. But I feel like I'm not doing the most I can with the portals. There's all these, these different game modes, and you sort of use these portals that you can blast out, like an A and a B, like you can in the in the Portal game. But I just feel like I'm not taking full advantage of that mechanic in a way that I feel like I've yet to unlock the second level of expertise where I can use them effectively. You can sort of like shoot people through portals and you can grab shit through portals, but I can never chain all of those things in a way that seems effective or even pretty to look at.
So the way I've been playing that game, the way I've been playing it, so it's got like they're straight up boosting modes out of Halo. Like when you're playing in the casual playlist, it's like here's Team Shoddy Snipers, and you're like, okay,
yep,
I know exactly what that is. Here's Oddball, and you're like, okay, you're okay, I get it. I see what you're doing here. And so it was a game of Shoddy Snipers. I'm like, well, I've got a sniper rifle, and I'm going to walk into the middle of this map, which happens to have a very high up portal pad, and I'm just going to shoot a portal up there, and then I'm going to run away and find some backwater other spot away from the center and pop my other portal there. And I just sat there with my sniper rifle, and anytime one of those idiots ran through the middle, I was just like, fuck you, fuck you, fuck you. And that went pretty well. But I don't know if I've actually progressed to the point where I'm seeing more human players than bots, like because the queues have been such. Like that is another game that starts you out playing against bots. So if you're finding yourself going like 27-1 in your first match and you're like, I'm the fucking best Splitgate player would ever lived. Like,
yeah.
Sorry, it's not. Yeah. Them's bots.
Dang it.
Damn spots.
And I don't like the art style. Reminds me of Nexius, of Xenotic, of the free to play, the open source first person shooter that only I have ever played. And it's got these player models in it that are just like, look, it's an alien, and you're like, well, it's an open source game. It looks kind of, sure, okay, it's all right, it's cool, I guess. And they just look shitty. I don't know. I think the player models in Splitgate look dumb. And it's full of battle passes and skin purchases, and I think a lot of the weapon skins, like they have animated epic weapon skins that are just like, it's got a grid on it, but it looks like crap. Like I just visually, I think the maps look good, and all the characters and skins and stuff like that don't look good at all.
No,
sure,
which is a bummer. But other than that, it's a pretty neat game. Yeah,
it's going to
stay on console
free to play.
I believe, the plan is for it to be free to play, and that is all the rage. You get them in the door. The first hit is free. What if you bought a skin? And I think that's I wonder if that's where it will break down, because like I said, I mean, maybe it's just me, but like I look at all those skins and I'm just like repulsed. I'm like, I don't want to buy any of this junk. It looks terrible.
No, thank you.
So, put Superman in the game, and then maybe we can talk.
Ariana Grande is coming to Splitgate.
Ariana Grande is Superman in Splitgate. Can we get like some kind of skin on top of skin on top of skin?
Yeah.
It's not a skin.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Jack in the
some
Box
hair
presents.
skin, cape skin.
I would prefer we stop calling them skins. Skin, the word skin that's like my moist. Like it's just a word. It's the word that I don't like to hear. Yeah, see, when you talk about the skin.
What about chicken skin?
Okay, I love that part of fried chicken. Who doesn't? But I also wish it wasn't called that. Like, I wish we could all agree on a different name for that part of the fried chicken.
Because when you eat it, you think about your own skin, and you're just like, I've got that. That's on me. Like, I think, and then you envision like someone eating your skin, or you eating a person's skin, and you're like, I don't want to do that. Like, what's the?
Wow, you could not have nailed it more with that description of horrific visuals of skin eating. Yep, that is exactly why skin. There's nothing. Maybe
you're the one saying it the most right now.
Yeah, I know. Right. Maybe it goes back to my irrational fear of knives. And just that in general, there's something about that. I don't know. Look, life is complicated. We're all complicated people. Let's not call that chicken part the S word, please. Let's just call it
the breading. Top. What do you? The top layer.
That chicken top.
Crust.
I'll have a slice of chicken
the
top.
The sloppiest chicken top you got.
Get those steaks sloppy and those chicken tops sloppier. Because I want to eat them up. Yum, yum, yum. Crunchy in my mouth.
I'm going to pull into the KFC drive-thru, and I'm going to shout, give me that sloppy chicken toppy until they call the cops.
I mean, it's better than the skin. Okay, yes. Maybe I need to reevaluate my eating habits, perhaps.
How much are these cosmetics going for in Splitgate?
Thank you.
I don't know what I don't know what how much they are selling the custom uniforgues.
Thank you. Ooh, we're changing the world one podcast at a time here.
Custom models. I mean, it is. I guess in the Quake days, it was models, and then it was also the S word for the models. So you could download the model and then get 20 S.
Yeah,
and you get 20 for the price of one, and get it that way. Yeah, I don't know. It's not a great word, but it's I guess it's less accurate now that like more and more custom model work is being done, because it really was just meant to be like, I don't know, this one's red.
Right. Because you
made
just
the Quake guy look like Batman. Isn't that weird? Did you put horns on him? No, because that's not on the Quake model, you dumbass. Like, okay, all right.
See? I got a point.
Okay.
All right, you got a point.
All right,
let's go.
Anyway, all the skins look bad.
Barf. I barfed everywhere.
I'm seeing from chat they're going from $12 to $25, which is
that's become that seems to be increasingly the going rate for, like, I think Fortnite has done that to us, because that's how much a lot of that stuff is in Apex, and that's how much a lot of that stuff is in Call of Duty. You know, that Bruce Willis, I want to say, was like $20.
Oh gosh.
And that's just for one.
And that's just for, like, that's the model, that's the skin. There's some voice work. There's a little player card that has Bruce Willis on it, and a couple of guns. I think it's like a pack in his feet. They had to model those feet. There's a lot of feet. There's a lot of they made a skin for the feet, and a feet skin.
And you know, I'll just chew it back. Listen, I think like the how do we combat this? I mean, here's the problem, right?
I mean,
motherfuckers are buying them.
Yeah,
and
so thus it's not a problem, like, because no one is forcing you to buy them,
right? But like fat guy chewing the cigar in the boardroom is just like,
you can just say Bobby Kotick. You can just use his name.
Crank it up. Yeah. See what they'll pay. Yeah. Fuck it. Do $45 a skin. Blech.
Yeah, this like, one's got electric bolts coming off it. It's $35. Yeah.
Do 60. Make it more expensive than the base game.
The game's free. Fuck it. Yeah. I think that's the glory of the open market. Not that this is even close to an open market, but they are free to try to charge what they want, and you are free to never buy any of that stuff. You don't have to. Despite what you may have heard, you do not have to buy the battle pass. You do not have to buy the skins.
Turns out.
You know, when they put out a game for free, you can try to not spend any money. And it was a thing I realized last night while I was playing a little bit of Splitgate and a little bit of Rogue Company, which I'll talk about here in a minute. But it was, and also kind of in light of the update for Genshin Impact that hit recently, and some of that other stuff. It was that increasing realization of just like it has become fully normalized that now there is the meta game of I am trying to play this game without spending money. The meta game of how many Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Links card packs can I get without spending any real money? How many gotcha pulls can I get in Genshin for, like, I feed them a fake email address to get 3 more? Like, that has become a very common part of gaming, and I don't necessarily think that is end of the world type stuff, but also it's too late. It's the people have spoken, and there's a market for it,
Yes.
So like at the end of the day, I mean, like Togue in the chat says, remember horse armor? Like, there was when Bethesda tried to, like, the people who were there for horse armor, the people who were on that team when horse armor dropped and like felt the brunt of people going like, what the fuck are you trying to sell horse armor to me, you motherfucker? I'm gonna burn your studio to the ground. Like, the people that had to endure that, and now look at what this industry has become, they must be like fucking pissed. It's like, fuck this, fuck you all. And yeah, it's that stuff is just fully normalized, and I think you can, obviously you don't have to buy any of that stuff, but it is now like there's so much of a game can be devoted to trying to sell you more of the game around the edges of the menus or the top bar, and like, putting your currency totals on screen through every single menu. And none of it is stuff that's going to change the gameplay. It's not like some, generally speaking, it is not some big pay to win thing. I mean, the Genshin Impact characters are characters with moves and stuff, and there's, there are going to be different balance of things there. Pokemon Unite has gotten a fair amount of shit for the way it is handling things, and it's. I don't have an answer. This doesn't end with me saying like, and here's what we need to do about it. It's more just like, boy, this stuff has really gotten out of hand, and there was no way to stop it, and there is no way to put it back in the bottle this is what games are now, and the market has spoken, and they are largely okay with that.
Is it part of the problem if like I go into a free to play game like Pokemon Unite, Genshin Impact, Knockout City, and then I wind up spending $20 because I had fun with a game and I like want to give some
that's what it is.
Like I want to give some type of kickback to the developers rather than like I don't need to get the skin. I'm just getting it so the devs might see some type of monetary thing.
That's how I try to treat it. Yeah.
I mean, the thing that has happened, the focus groups and the play testing has decided that is what the end goal is, right? I guess if you're looking at it maybe in the hyper specific angle of like a tip jar kind of thing,
sure,
right?
Yeah.
But I think the psychology behind free to play revolves a lot around the idea of you have sunken time into this game, and that somehow makes your brain rationalize pulling out the credit card. Like there's some sort of correlation that when executed enough, n amount of times equals a certain amount of revenue generated. And that's why.
Yeah, and I've definitely like gone into a game and said, well, I really like this game, and I would have paid $60 for it, so I will pay $60. Like I've done that.
There you go.
In some cases. I think there's also a very big social aspect to a lot of this stuff. A lot of free to play is definitely, it's not the days of fucking pushing the button so that everyone on your Facebook friends list gets the Farmville fucking come water my crops prompt, but it is the same mentality of like, hey, let's all work together on this big clan goal. Or sometimes it is as simple as, I bought the Superman and your skin looks like trash. And like the kid on the schoolyard calling each other defaults because that is the negative term for Fortnite, that whole social pressure thing is really wild.
Yeah.
Damn. That's not surprising. I mean, it's just like, oh, your sneakers suck sort of thing.
Yeah.
I mean, look, no, the arguments about the adjacencies to casino psychological behavior are things because they are things, right? Like those dopamines that fire, like that is what we are all circling the drain about. Like that is what they are here for. So
but even as the loot box stuff is become at least like very lightly regulated and has fallen out of favor, and like largely you're buying, what you're buying when you buy it in a lot of games.
My point being the psychological reaction someone has to losing $1,000 playing blackjack, even though they walked into the casino saying they'd only pay $20, they chalk it up as entertainment, right? They like it's that psychological reaction that sort of like makes it okay.
Well, I was here with my friends and
I enjoy it. I got one rum and Coke that was mostly Coke.
Yeah.
And no rum actually. I got a Coke.
I got a Coke.
I got $1,000 Coke. Let's go again.
Some fun people. A pretty lady sat next to me and said I should bet more, and then she left, and I never saw her again.
Someone ashed on my open palm. It was
I had a great time. I got into the slot players club. They comped me at the noodle bar.
I got 38 cents off on the buffet. Good for 10 minutes.
Great. Let's get over there. Oh, the line is 20 minutes long. We're fucked.
Spent a lot of time.
How else am I going to eat 9 pounds of prime rib in 20 minutes?
We're in the desert. Where did this shrimp come from?
Don't ask. Just don't ask.
They grow it there, Jeff.
Yeah. Lab grown
I don't understand.
shrimps.
I don't understand. This fish was swimming in some Grecian lake.
They got
24
airplanes.
hours ago.
They got a Grecian lake on an airplane, and they're just always flying. Like the plane's always in the sky, just in case something happens.
Side note: I'm at CES one year, and there's this place at the Cosmopolitan called Milos, and it's like a Greek seafood place. And I got taken there. It was not my choice to go there. I like nice dinners. It wouldn't have been my choice, regardless. The waiter comes out and like opens up the menu and proceeds to read a novel about how the fish in Greece get here so fast. And part of me is just like, everyone at the table's like, oh, this is fucking interesting as fuck. I'm like, this is why we can't have nice things. Don't you see what's happening?
You motherfucker.
I was like, no, this is a horror story inside of a menu.
Yeah, well, I don't know. Las Vegas is its own deep
What?
dark.
There's nothing wrong with it. What? Is there something wrong with that town? Is that town not supposed to be there? What do you mean?
It's the mole people.
Is that town weird?
Well, I'll tell you, as someone who has looked at a lot of real estate prices in different parts of the country, you can get a really big place in and around Las Vegas for like $1.
You could get a palatial estate. And then like one for each member of your family.
Exactly. Like you can, if you really hate yourself or really love $5 prime rib, all you can eat buffets, which I do.
That's kind of tempting.
You eat well there, okay? You do all the naughty things there.
You eat well there, you die well there. I mean, you end up face down in the fucking desert like everybody does eventually.
And just in case you forgot, it is the goddamn desert.
Yeah.
Gigabit internet Las Vegas.
No, it's there.
You hate water? Do you hate water? Go there.
Yeah. I mean, look, there's not going to be any water here soon, so why not just get ahead of it and get out there?
Fair enough.
Right. You're reading stories about like it's really a problem. The heat can be a real problem because sometimes people will get drunk and they will pass out on the pavement and they won't realize the pavement is burning the skin off their face because they've passed out. And you're like, there's a problem.
Wait, I think Vegas could be Woodstock 99, actually.
Vegas
Maybe
is
they
like,
should
yes,
just rename
that is
it.
where they all went. Yes. Like someone who was at Woodstock 99 is right now in fucking Circus going like this and walking away from a fucking table.
Ta-da.
And, oh, God damn it. I fucking hate Las Vegas.
So
but at the
this
same
is where
time,
we're announcing our live stage show and our residency.
Right.
We're bringing the
Dark
Bombcast to
Mondays.
Vegas.
Yeah.
I've spent so much of my life in Las Vegas. Okay.
My indoctrination into being in this business was a friend of mine who I went to high school with saying, hey, we were in high school at the time. He was 15, I was 16. And I'm saying, like, do you want to come to Las Vegas with me to go to CES? Or to play Super Nintendo games before they're out? And I was like, yes. And I've been fucking going back to Las Vegas. Not so much lately, thankfully, because video games got the fuck out of Las Vegas. But man, it was like 7 times a year there for a while. Everyone had their fucking thing in Vegas.
Oh God,
fucking terrible. And I've watched that town fucking. When I started going there, the MGM Grand was like damn near brand new, and it was the nice place in Las Vegas.
That's
it's fucking
that place is truly fucked, and I don't say that lightly. I don't say that about a lot of places.
I got strep throat in Las Vegas.
Oh,
of course.
Well, I got strep throat on the plane going in, or I had it going in, and so I landed, and I was there for an event, and I started feeling bad on the plane, and I got there and was like, okay, I need to go see a doctor, and then asked the front desk, hey, where's a doctor? And they said, there's one out the back door. I was like, cool. And I was like, well, I'll just walk. They made it sound like it was real close. Meanwhile, it's like fucking dead of summer. I am in the process of getting the most scorchnest ass case of strep throat I have ever had. And I think I've told the story before. Basically, I got like 2/3 of the way there. It felt like it was like 2 miles. It was probably like 3 blocks, but it was like between the heat and me in the process of feeling like I was dying. I was like a half or 2/3 the way there, and I thought for a sec like I should just lay down here and give up. This is it for me. This is it. This is I had a good run. This is it, man. And I was like, no, I'm gonna keep walking to this fucking clinic. And then I got there and they gave me a shot in my ass, and then I felt better like half an hour later.
Okay.
I mean, strep in Vegas, I can't even imagine because there's no moisture in the air whatsoever. So any sore throat issue is exacerbated by just the negative humidity that is in.
The choice to walk was maybe a poor one, but they made it sound like it's like, oh yeah, it's right there. I'm like, oh okay, well I'll just go out the back door and go, I guess, and I won't take a cab.
I used to call the front desk when I would get to the hotel and just be like, "Hey, you have any humidifiers left?" And they'd fucking just laugh and hang up.
Like, what are you gonna fill it with?
Like, oh.
Click. Yeah.
Is sand?
Well, can I pee in it? Can we convert? Are we converting pee into moisture yet? Can I get a moisture collector for my room? Can we set these up? Someone is selling moisture collectors for your like a solar powered, like it's like a solar panel, but it is something you are putting on your roof, and they're claiming it is going to turn it into like water. It is going to collect moisture out of the air and give you clean water. And there was part of me that was just like, well, I should get this because there's not like there's going to be water in California for very fucking long. So I should fucking go get some of these. I don't know. This is where we're at. Yes, exactly. I just want to be a simple moisture farmer.
That's all.
Who talks about PlayStation 5 beta firmwares on the internet. Me and Bacala are both in this firmware beta. Yeah,
super specific.
It's a living. What do you think of this firmware beta? You got any drives that you can throw in there? Have you put any drives in there?
I've not done the drive thing yet.
They're all sold out. Like I keep looking.
Yeah,
like, oh well, I got this. I got in that firmware beta, and then I was like, well, I guess I should go try to buy a drive. It sounds like people are starting to do more and more reports, and it sounds like the performance is actually what you want it to be, despite them like caveating it the hell out of all of their stuff.
Yeah.
It sounds like that when it works, it works.
And seems cool. Sometimes even better performance compared to the stock drive, which I don't think I understand. I was actually getting to the point where I started to like look around at what I already have in my computers around the house. I'm sort of just like, well, maybe I could just borrow one of these and visit some sort of Ripper dock and get my M2 drive into this PS5. But I haven't done that. I've noticed a lot of the maybe little quality of life sort of UI and UX things that they've been kind of rolling out. Like even the simple-ish stuff where like, hey, you can actually scroll through your library and see right away what's a PS4 game and what's a PS5 game. Just, like that kind of stuff. And then, stuff. A little customization here and there. I mean, obviously the big highlight feature is the the drive support. But I was, I guess, a little let down as to the numerous other things that I think they could address in this update. I think for me, I don't see this talked about a lot, but the entire party system to me is still just undesirable. It's just not fun. I feel like there is something it is missing that would make a lot of my, getting together with my party, the friends that I play with a lot, make that, process a little easier. It's just not there yet. It seems like there is a step missing that I feel like they should really close the gap with. But I think it's going to be a slow grind with this.
The achievement, the trophies display is finally vertical. Like whoever thought they could get away with making that a horizontal display, like it is, they made some poor choices. But I'm sure that they were probably crunched for time, because that thing seems like the UI feels like the thing that came together at the absolute last minute. I don't know, but yes, that was Seb Mall in the chat points out that variable refresh rate is still not in. They put in a 3D audio for speakers. Formerly, it was only for headphones, but now you can use that stuff with speakers, which sounds like there was like the F1. If Danny's not here, maybe we can ask him about it next week. But F1 had to remove ray tracing in an earlier patch, and now they have taken the 3D audio out temporarily because they're just like, the performance stuff and it's glitching. We patched it out for now. It's like, geez, sounds rough. The
3D stuff, the 3D audio stuff, I'm kind of interested about. I'm gonna do some of that this weekend and see what that is all about. But
I thought the headphone stuff with Returnal was nice. That stuff sounded good, and that was cool. But yeah, I haven't shoved the drive in it yet because I can't get my hands on one, and I want to I can't, we should probably expense a 4 terabyte drive, and I should probably try this out.
Absolutely.
I mean, that's probably
it's for all of us.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. I think
it can vary from person to person.
Yeah. Also, time zone differences that plays an impact.
That's a big one.
Yeah, that's because the drives I have here do not have heat sinks on them, and also the one drive I have that's spare is one that failed, and so it's in an external. Like I put it in an external just long enough to get all the shit off it I needed, and then it, I think, finally gave up the ghost. But yeah, these things are just sold out all over the place now. It's wild.
They're tough to get your hands on. Putting them in seems super simple. It's just getting your hands on one. Yep. I feel like I'm not at the point where I would put a 500 gigabyte one in there. I just feel like if I'm gonna do it, I need at least 2 terabytes.
Two
in there.
Seems like a minimum. Yeah, that's and 2 seems like a decent like bang for your buck, like price range type stuff where you're not like spending 2 PS5s to just put storage inside your one PS5. Like $1,000 drive seems like just a fucking farce at this point. But yeah, that 2 terabyte price is not too crazy.
If you put a 2 terabyte, if you put any of those SSDs in there and it doesn't adhere to the transfer rate standards, which is obviously the most important metric on these drives, right? Important spec. Are you just going to get what amounts to another PS4 drive in the way an external drive would get? Or will
I would assume that it would just like throw up a thing and say like, hey, we spun this drive for a while and get it out of here.
Yeah. What are you doing?
Yeah. I'm assuming that there's something in there that says this is a no-go. And
it does that quick.
But
apparently it does a quick transfer test. And if it hits above, I think it's 4,500 or 5,000, something like that. Yeah. And if it maxes above that, then you're in good shape. And it's like, hey, put Ratchet and Clank on there. But we'll see. I don't know when we're going to be able to buy these, and they'll be readily available. But it seems not too soon.
It seems like I have not done super deep digging into all the different retailers out there. Like, I don't know. I have not looked on Newegg and some of these other places that might still have them. But yeah, it's pretty weird. Rogue Company. To get back to that real quick, another free-to-play shooter. I don't know why so this happens, I feel like once or twice a year, where there's just like some very middling to mediocre shooter that is just so mindless that I'm just like, I can really unwind with a couple of rounds of this before bed.
I get that though. I 100% get that. Because like that's
I don't
what
think Rogue
Knockout
Company's
City
a very
is to
good
me.
game.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
So that's the thing, but I'm drawn to it. Like Knockout City, seems all right. This seems like average at best, where I'm just like, well, this is about as mindless as a shooter can get because the auto aim is such that it's just like, it might as well be locking onto these targets, and the time to kill is just weirdly low, and it's just like, I'm just gonna round this quarter and shoot a bunch of drone birds at somebody and then knock 2 people down and whatever. Like it's just it has become my end of the night game of like, I'm gonna play 2 rounds of this and go to sleep, and it's just a very generic. I'm playing. There's a lot of round objective based modes, and it seems like that's the way that they originally intended for it to be played, is like a round based, almost like Counter-Strike esque sort of thing. But they have a team deathmatch mode, and that just removes a lot of that stuff, and you just respawn. It's just like, I don't know, I'm just gonna run around and shoot these idiots for a while, and I'll get shot because I'm an idiot for a while, and it is not like I'm not recommending the game. I think it's a third person game, and so third person shooters have to like navigate like shoulder shit, like which shoulder are you looking over, and some games let you toggle. I think this has a toggle in there too, but something about the way that this game shifts shoulders feels like it is doing it at the exact wrong time. And it does it in a very noticeable way automatically that I'm just like, what the fuck is going on? It's like that part, it seems like they're really screwing it up. But, and it's another one of these games full of skins and battle passes and all this other stuff because it's free and it's all cross-played up and all this other stuff. And I don't know, like it just, I look at it and it seems like it's popular. It still seems like it's going strong, and it has a brief login queue when I try to play it at night. It'll be like a little 5-second thing, which almost seems fake, but I don't know. And I keep looking at it and going like, wow, it really looks like a whole fuckload of work went into this, because they've got all these, because they're selling individual characters.
Yeah.
And so each character is going to have a full loadout and passive and active, like hero shooter style options, and an ult and all these voice lines and all this other stuff. And you just look at it and go like, yeah, they really put a lot of work into this stuff. And but it's all just so painfully generic. And yet at the same time, every other night or so, I'm just like, well, I'm just gonna get in here and play a couple rounds of this and stop playing it. And
Can't help yourself.
I don't know why. Because half the time I'm playing it going like, this shoulder thing is so fucking crazy. What the fuck is wrong with them? Like, why would they make it this way? And
who does this game?
Hi-Rez does it. The Smite people.
There we go. Yeah, okay.
The people what brought you Smite. And yeah, I don't know. Like, it seemed like there were ads, or just like it was showing up on a lot of like console dashboards and stuff for a good long time. And
yeah,
like, oh, I should check this out. And it's
it looks okay. It looks like it also looks like a game that is a fake game on a TV show.
Yes, it absolutely does. It looks very much like, and it's like there's some style over substance stuff where they force you, after you all pick your characters, there's like this slow walk of all the characters, and they zoom in on each one's face and says which player is playing as each character and all this other shit. And you're like,
oh hell yeah.
And it's all this fucking, I don't know, it's all that. It's when you go into Audio Network and say like, give me uplifting hip hop beats, and it's to that all that fucking like motivational music. That's, I'm gonna lift weights to like that type shit. And it's just, I don't know. There's certainly some craft there, because you just look at it and go like, someone did some very smart work to make all this. It is very stylish, but also at the same time, like, it's just so weirdly bland in so many different ways. It's so, I am vexed by this game. I don't know what to make of it, other than just like, it's super dumb and super straightforward in that team deathmatch mode, and it's just like, whatever. I'm gonna just shoot these.
It's like gas station sandwiches. You know what you're getting.
Yeah, totally.
But it fills that void.
Yeah, and I guess I like a gas station sandwich from time to time. So,
oh no,
gas station barbecue on the 5. Woo.
What?
Woo. Woo.
If you're not eating food off a roller at least twice a year, that is, we talk a lot about things we've lost through the pandemic, and roller food is one that I've been missing recently, as I've gone into more and more convenience stores and gas stations lately, and they're all turned off. And I just look at it and go like, oh man,
it's a bummer.
Why can't I get a
I've got QT. I've got QT down here, and they have magnificent roller food. They've got these chicken taquitos. Even the hot dogs are good. It's amazing. Yeah. But yeah, they're still in full effect, man. They're roller 24/7.
Damn it. I'm fucking up, man. Why can't I live near a Wawa?
Fiber internet here.
Wawa's got like 20 yards of rollers, right? That's probably
right. Wawa is really just a treasure. I mean, there's no other way to just. I don't know what a Buc-ee's is.
A Buc-ee's is a magical place. I finally encountered one of these on my trip out here, and it's basically a carnival sized gas station. It's ridiculous. They sell their own merchandise. They've got T-shirts and stuff for this Buc-ee's, who's a beaver, by the way. But they've got. A regular, your gas station fare, your food, your freezies, all the Fs.
Food, folks,
all your major F things.
Yeah, all the major F things, and it's huge. And we were there for like a Memorial Day weekend or whatever, and it was just absolutely insane.
You just went there. That's just Buc-ee's. Where you went.
Memorial Day weekend. Down to the Buc-ee's.
Yeah, like it seems like a destination spot. I highly recommend checking out a Buc-ee's if you are ever near one, just for the experience.
Yeah,
of a Buc-ee's.
That sounds like Shangri-La.
The promised land.
Right.
Gas station experiences.
Yeah. Yeah. We haven't even gotten into the restrooms. Let's take a break. We'll come back and we'll get into the news. Yeah. It's time to get online. You know, like Johnny Mnemonic used to say, we got to get on the internet. And if you're not on the internet, well, I don't know how you're hearing this, but it's time to leave a footprint. So when you're not there, you're still there. It's time to build a website. That's right. Websites. You've heard of these things. It's like you type it into a web browser. Okay, you log into your Slip account. You get your PPP, your NCSA Mosaic, and you hang on. Oh, this is the old copy. All right, you get Firefox or what have you, and you type it into the internet. Why don't you be on the other end of that connection with your business or your work or your content, whatever you're trying to do? You're trying to sell stuff? Get a load of Squarespace. That's right. Squarespace is the product, the tool, the service that you can use to make a beautiful website all by yourself, because they've got these templates made by world-class designers. And you can customize all this little stuff yourself without having to have all the deep technical know-how that can go into building a big old website. You don't need to know any of that stuff anymore. Just get on Squarespace. You can even sell stuff. They've got e-commerce functionality. It all works on your phone, wherever you've got a modern web browser. Your website is going to be there for people to look at. Whatever you're trying to do, even if you're trying to buy a domain, Squarespace has got your back. And on top of that, they're there at 24/7 with award-winning customer support in case you run into any snags along the way. Squarespace is used by millions to get their messages, whatever they may be, out to the world. Why not throw your message on the pile today? Head to squarespace.com/bombcast for a free trial. And when you're ready to launch, use the offer code BOMBCAST to save 10% off your first purchase of a website or domain. That's squarespace.com/bombcast, and the offer code is BOMBCAST. It is the year 2021. Unbelievably, we have made it this far, and we're still here. So maybe it's time we started taking care of ourselves in a variety of different ways. I know you're out there like, I'm taking my vitamins. I'm on my stationary bike. I'm doing a spin class in the basement. Like, no. But also, what about your brain box, your mind, your mental health, you know? Think about it. You're struggling upstairs? A lot of people are. If you're not feeling like your normal self, hey, what about therapy, huh? It's like a workout for your mind. No, look, therapy, it doesn't have to be sitting around talking about your feelings, all this other stuff. Therapy can be whatever you need it to be if you find the right therapist. And that can be the tricky part, right? That's where BetterHelp comes in. BetterHelp is customized online therapy that can offer video, phone, or even live chat sessions with your therapist, so you don't have to see anyone on camera if you don't want to. Basically, whatever you're looking to get out of therapy, BetterHelp is trying to find the right thing for you. And it can be more affordable than in-person therapy, so you can start communicating with your therapist in under 48 hours. Join the millions of people who are seeing what therapy is really about and see if it's for you, because you are your greatest asset. It's true. This podcast is sponsored by BetterHelp, and you can get 10% off your first month over at betterhelp.com/bombcast. That's betterhelp.com/bombcast. Welcome back to Bathroom Talk. Time to get the segment of the show that I have to call Deep in the Toilet. No, it's just...
Oh man, I've witnessed some stuff at like truck stops.
Yeah.
Oh, go. Yeah.
Yep.
Gross.
I mean, that's where all the action is, because they got showers, you know? There's like...
right.
You can get into some stuff in a truck stop shower. I've never taken a truck stop shower, so this is all theoretical, but I imagine
I've always been
you can
intrigued.
get some stuff in a truck stop shower. Yeah.
I thought about it once.
What situation do you really got to be in if you are not a trucker to go and take a truck stop shower?
Well, what if you're in a car that doesn't have AC and you're driving like a 6-7 hour drive? You're 3 hours in. It's just a hot, stinking mess. You're just a disaster of a person. You're there getting gas. You look over, you see the showers are there. They're available. You're like,
no,
fuck it, bro. Let's take a shower.
Say you accidentally spilled gasoline on yourself, filling up some gas tanks.
I'm still dealing with it. Keep going. Until
you're interested.
Problem.
Yeah, like
you're interested. I can tell.
I just like until human shit enters the equation, I'm not taking a truck stop shower.
Well, that's everywhere though, Mr. Backlar.
Yeah, human shit is all around us.
No, but I'm just. Are we really talking? I mean, come on. I'm just saying. We got BO. There's no AC in the car. I'm sweating, disgusting. Somehow drenched in gasoline. It's
all right,
still not a problem.
You're in a ska band. There's 9 of you in one van.
Yeah,
and you have a long drive to get down from the Bay Area to like Riverside. You know, you're like, we got a big ska show in Riverside. We got to get down to LA.
Got it.
You get halfway down, the van is full of people. You've got like a trombone fucking slide stuck in your rib cage for most of the drive.
Oh, okay.
Crammed in there so tight.
Sure.
You know, maybe you stop and you're like, oh, I just got to take I got to take a shower.
I still think I'm holding out. If the venue's gonna have a backstage, I'll shower at the venue.
The one girl that's traveling with the band is sweet on you, and she's like, "There's a shower over there," and you're like, "Well, all right."
What? Okay. Well, plot thickens. I don't understand. Like what? What?
And are you making that face or?
Yeah. What's it? Wait, am I like
Then are you gonna?
Again, very specific things and horrific things have to happen in the back of that van for me to say okay to truck stop shower.
It's shower time.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Okay.
I mean,
you won't know until you're there, though. Like you can imagine it, but you can't really like experience it until you've lived it. Yeah. So don't judge too hastily.
I would imagine just wear flip-flops. Like, I mean, that's the least you can do.
Yeah, I mean, don't take your clothes off. Just go in.
I will wear a bathing suit in that shower. Definitely.
Okay. All right.
That's probably the move. Yeah.
Yeah, you probably don't have shower shoes if you're in a ska band on the road.
Yeah, you probably don't have a van.
Vans dry out pretty good.
The checker fits. Yeah.
So
yeah. Plus,
all right.
And your chain wallet can just hang your clothes so they dry, so that's fine.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
We got this all figured out, baby.
All right, great. We're starting a ska band.
I went on a flight recently, and someone got very upset. They had to take out their chain wallet. And I was like, dude, you got to take it. It's metal. Of course it's going to go off.
Of course.
Take everything out of your pockets.
Yeah. Don't, you dumbass. So that flight, you went and saw that Steam Deck. We've talked about it in a couple of different places here. That's kind of newsy. That's kind of between one segment and the other in some ways. But
still play this music then.
Hit it.
Yes.
Yeah. Roar Dog and I went on a one-day trip up to Washington to visit Valve.
A little jaunt.
I think we were probably in the airport longer than we were actually in the Bellevue area. But, that happens.
Sure.
And yeah, we got the chance to get some hands-on time with a Steam Deck. There's a lovely video of Rory and I chilling out at a park, talking about it up on the Giant Bomb YouTube now. And Rory more eloquently speaks to some of the hardware of the device, and my overall impressions is, that shit's tight.
Okay. Sold me.
Yeah. We got maybe an hour and a half up to 2 hours worth of time playing around with it. And it's really neat because it's exactly what is advertised. It runs Steam. It runs Steam fairly well on a portable device. I think the biggest thing for me that was a surprise is the actual size of it. And it looks honking huge in pictures, but put up with like a Switch next to it. Like I brought a GBA, a Vita, and a Game Gear to compare the sizes, and it's huge. But for all that being said, the thing is actually pretty dang light, and it felt really comfortable to hold in my hands. So I could
That's cool.
theoretically see maybe you're playing for an extended period of time and you don't experience the same hand fatigue you would get with like playing with a Switch. Because I don't know about you guys, but like my hands kind of sit at like a U when I'm holding a Switch. So like it's kind of like flat on the back of it with, minus the triggers. And because of like the tendonitis in my hands, it gets like real tired after a while. But with the Steam Deck, the edges are kind of curved like a Wii U tablet. If you've ever held a Wii U tablet, it's like that, but much, much lighter.
Okay.
Lighter than a Wii U tablet. The Wii U tablet is not like super heavy. It's
right.
Maybe I'm conflating it with a Game Gear in my head because I've been like holding a Game Gear a lot lately.
Yeah, I didn't expect you to say lighter. That really threw me off.
Yeah, I think I want to say it's been maybe a year since I've held a Wii U tablet, but I'm gonna say it's, if not the same weight, a skosh lighter.
Skosh.
Yeah, a skosh.
Yeah.
And one of the more surprising things was because Rory and I were playing it just on the battery, and Rory was switching between like a poop ton of games. He was playing Doom, we were playing Control, Sea of Thieves. The overall unit wasn't getting super hot, at least where your hands rest. The only place it was getting hot was, the vents and the screen itself. We did jack up the brightness all the way just to see how fast we could kill the battery. And the units we were testing weren't retail units. They had just actually gotten them in the day before, and they were worried they wouldn't get in time for our appointment.
Wow.
And, there were a couple hiccups. Like, of course, it was the one Steam Deck in the room amongst, like, maybe 5 or 6 that kept breaking down because, of course, it was Rory and I touching it. Maybe we're emanating magnetic fields or whatever. But, yeah, it's Steam, or it's like a little computer and a little portable device, and it works fantastic. I think one of the more surprising and neat demos they had going was just it hooked up to a monitor with a Bluetooth mouse and keyboard. And we showed off in the video, but it's like running Blender, a VLC video, some coding stuff, and it's also streaming Netflix in a browser.
It's cool.
And like, I have a bunch of friends, and prior to this job,
You got a bunch of friends?
A handful. Not enough to play Left 4 Dead. Not enough to play Left 4 Dead.
What do you guys do?
Well, we talk about our feelings sometimes, vaguely though.
Good. That's good. That's healthy.
Nice. Yeah.
But God, I lost my train of thought.
Oh, we really fucked you up there.
Yeah, I started thinking about friendship and the ultimate power.
Because you were saying it's got Bluetooth. I got a bunch of friends. Sip, sip, sip. And then,
okay. Yes. So prior to working here, I was always curious about PC gaming because it was just such a high bar to entry level. I've always been curious about buying a PC and getting into that stuff.
Yep.
Got it.
And, for a bunch of my friends, they still haven't made that plunge into getting into PC gaming, even if it's just like a entry-level gaming laptop. And I could see like this being that gateway drug for a bunch of folks to get into that Steam ecosystem. Like I was telling one of the devs that like my best friend pre-ordered one and already started buying a bunch of games on Steam, and they were like, wait, why would he do that?
Perhaps that is ill-advised.
Like the summer sale is coming. Like, don't be an idiot. And like,
I mean,
but I think like he is a use case for like some of the people they're trying to attract with this thing.
Totally. That was the first thing I thought was like, yo, you are going to cross so many people over the line of like, PC gaming, intimidation, people who suffer from that, which is still very much a thing.
Totally.
People of all ages, all walks of life, just horrified by the idea of playing a game on your computer. What could happen? The stakes have never been higher.
And I think also like having the form factor of using the controls on the device is like enough familiarity with some folks that they'll be like, okay, like I don't have to use a mouse and keyboard to aim with stuff. All right, let's go.
Right.
Yeah. And I don't know, they also weren't shying away, and they haven't shied away from the question of what can you throw on this eventually. And it's running Linux, or like a version of Linux, that they're saying like, yeah, you might be able to throw the Epic Games Store, you might be able to throw some other stuff on this eventually. And that was like the most intriguing thing, because like, like if I can have this thing that can run my Steam library, my Epic Games library, this is how I finally get all the way into Final Fantasy 14.
Oh no.
because
icons are going to be so small.
Well, it's streamlined enough to run on consoles, so I just have to squint a little bit.
They've got a bunch of UI options in there.
Yeah.
Sounds like Rory was talking about it on the show on Friday, but yeah. So
and like that's an MMO designed to play with a controller as well. But I think just like this being a cool entry level way for folks to get into PC gaming is neat. And just how open it seems to be. I do worry about like how the hardware will be iterated on. Like, all right, like we'll all get ours in last quarter of this year, Q1 of next year, and then they're gonna announce another one has detachable controllers or something, or addresses like hardware problems with this first one.
Because it'll end up being different because when you look at a Nintendo platform or something, it's like this game is a Switch game or it's not. And it's gotten a little fuzzy with the PlayStation 4 and PlayStation 5 and a lot of the Xbox stuff, but like generally speaking, what games run on which platform. Whereas the PC will end up being this moving target where you might have cases where, especially these players who are not super PC savvy, will be trying to download games 4 years from now, going like, why do they run bad?
Yeah.
It must be broken. And by then, if this has been a success, they probably will have put out another upgraded model or something like that. And I wonder if that will end up being confusing for people because they're able to buy games that don't run well on that device. And I mean, Steam's got a pretty good refund policy, so maybe it's not that big a deal and all that sort of stuff. But it'll just be interesting to watch how that part of the cycle happens.
Yeah. Like say this becomes readily enough available that people see this in like a Best Buy or a Target and like they can just swoop one up that day, and I wonder what they'll wind up turning in as like an experience for them, because they're also talking that they're working on some of the games being able to function in offline mode. And a spotty internet connection is pretty common across the US and across the globe, that being able to play your gameplay gets interrupted even if it's like a single player indie game would be a bummer, but hopefully that gets worked around.
Yeah,
Sure.
I think right now if you pull your network cable while you're playing a game on Steam, I don't think it throws you out of the game. If it's a server connected game like an Outriders or something, that's always going to be a problem. But I think if you're online at the launch of a game, but the online mode in Steam the offline mode in Steam has always been a little weird.
Yeah.
So yeah, they'll probably have to do some kind of work there. I got some weights for you. The Steam Deck, according to this is PC Gamer that has it, but it seems like this is the number that's been going around. Approximately 1.47 pounds, 669 grams. The Wii U tablet, 491, 1.08 pounds. So Wii U tablet lighter,
heavier.
almost a half pound heavier. So
maybe I got stronger.
The Game Gear is listed here at 2.1 pounds, but that's an Amazon listing, and who knows if that's with or without batteries.
Right. Those heavy duty double A's.
Yeah. You got the
How many did that take? 15?
6.
6, yeah.
Same thing.
Yeah, pretty much. Too many. Yeah, the thing sounds cool. I'm excited that
Definitely
you guys saw it, and yeah, that video is up on the site. It's up on the internet. Go check that out for more.
It was nice.
Great job, Jan. Yeah, good job, buddy.
Yeah.
Shouts out to Norm. Shouts out to Bill.
Yeah.
Is that a bunch of dogs you met, or?
Oh no.
Okay.
Norm from Tested and Bill tangentially from Tested as well.
Got it, because there's a big canine angle to that video as well, which I was a big fan of.
You point a camera at Matt Rory in public, there's going to be a canine angle,
and none of that was a bit. That was just Rory.
It's so like I kind of I know I don't know Rory as well as some other people, and the dog thing never came up, and I learned a lot about him with dogs in a short amount of time.
He loves them. He loves them.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I love dogs too. They're the best. They're much better than cats. But he just sort of stops what he's doing. Like, I feel like he's the kind of guy that would be driving and maybe swerve into the shoulder just to maybe see a pooch. I love it.
Yeah.
That's dedication.
Yeah.
Dogs are great. Okay. I didn't know that. I didn't know that about him.
Idris Elba.
Yeah.
Is
Idris
that
Elba
than,
was-
Is that the
You
name
heard
of your
this guy?
dog? Oh,
yeah, my dog
yeah,
Idris
of course.
Elba. Idris Elba is going to apparently, but it's a teaser of a tweet that went out a few minutes ago.
Weezer.
Seems to indicate that he will be playing Knuckles in the follow-up to the Sonic the Hedgehog movie, which will likely be called Sonic the Hedgehog 2.
Or he is really misinterpreting something else. I don't know what that's.
Yeah, or he's way into fisting. Who can say?
Oh God.
Why not both?
Yeah, you could have both.
I
can.
That's an inspired choice, and I'm all for it.
What?
Of course.
Who are you casting as Big the Cat? And then, well, I guess, who are you casting as Tails? Have they announced casting for Tails?
Tails was in the stinger at the end of the first one.
Yeah.
Who
did he speak? Is there already a okay?
He spoke. I don't know if that if the voice person is continuing their role. Okay. I want to say
maybe that's already a done deal. Then okay.
Now look. I saw this was the last movie I saw in theaters in the olden times, and since it came to Hulu or HBO Max or wherever the fuck it is, I've seen it maybe a dozen times because I have a son who is so strongly obsessed with Sonic the Hedgehog now.
He'll turn out fine. I grew up that way too.
Everything he loves. You know what he loves? He loves the song at the end, that Wiz Khalifa song, the Speed Me Up song that they ended the credits on, which is not. It's not a bad song. I mean, maybe what do I know? I've heard it so many times. I have to like it.
You big Swaco the Child fan over there? You like his verse? I think that's probably the.
So when you watch the video, that person's in the video doing the verse.
Oh, I've seen the video.
The video's pretty good. Like the 16-bit stuff is fun enough, right?
Yeah.
It's like the first time in my life where I'm just like, what am I looking like? What is this? Like, what is all this? I don't know what it all is. Yeah,
I went through a dark. I had a very dark cycle around the release of that track where I then had to figure out okay, what else has Swaco done? I should probably go look all that up and start listening to that. And then went through the cycle of this is the worst shit I have ever heard. And then about week 2, I was like, I love this. This sucks. And then week 3 was like, yeah. Yes.
So are those the
I
three
am at
stages of
Swaco's. This is
Swaco
great.
Child?
Yes.
Yeah. Can you tell me more about this artist, please? I didn't really go down the rabbit hole in the way that you clearly have.
He seems like he blew up on social media for making beats out of different household objects, like a woman's ass or a condom or other stuff like that. Yeah, you just sampling stuff, and then you sample anything, right? You put enough filters on anything, you make anything sound like a snare drum. It's fine.
Sure.
And I don't know. I don't know. I think he put out a couple of tracks after that song came out, but I have not thought about Swaco for a good long time, and I hope he is well.
The streets need Swaco.
No.
I think the streets are fine. I
think the streets are okay.
It was the first. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe I'm not going to go down the rabbit hole.
I don't think his verse or half verse or whatever
it's
that he
barely a
does
verse
on that Sonic track is especially good. I think that it's a pretty. It's maybe the worst part of the track. I think he is good on his management for getting him on it.
To get him in there. Yeah, you got in there.
Because he is probably the newest artist of anyone on that track. He seems a little out of his league in a way compared to some of the other folks on there. But
sure.
So
in fact,
good on him for a lot of exposure. I mean, made me into a fan for a good handful of months there before I went what the fuck am I doing with my life? And then kind of snapped out of it a little bit, but I wish Swaco well. I will listen. If Swaco has new material out, I will listen to it with open ears. I will go in with open ears. That's the Jeff Gerstmann promise. That's how broken I am.
Wait, does Knuckles have a British accent? I don't remember.
No, I don't know.
Listen to the Pumpkin Hill rap. Put the Pumpkin Hill rap on right now, and then also Jan, after that, if you could I posted an Idris Elba, the Idris Elba Fortnite video that James Gunn tweeted out. If you could potentially, if there's a way for you to put this video and audio on the stream, because if you want to see a man that has been doing promo work all day and is just like,
I'm done.
You want me to say what? Like the most shrug of a video, Idris Elba in this Bloodsport Fortnite video is just perfect.
I got away.
Okay.
Vamp
awesome.
while we.
Okay.
Yeah. So am I wrong though? The reason I spoke a lot about the Sonic movies, and I have seen it so many times, when you watch the beginning of that movie, there are Knuckles creatures in the beginning.
Echidnas.
Echidnae? Or echidnas?
Oh, now I can't.
I'm gonna say a kid.
Fuck, I don't know the pluralization. Anyway, they're all over the first world with the owl mom. And the owl mom's like, look here, you little stupid idiot, Sonic. You got to run through these rings. I don't know why they're time portals, but that's what we're doing in this movie. And then all the Knuckles echidnas are following. They're wearing all the masks, right? That's what's happening. So, like, what is the story? I don't remember Knuckles and Sonic. Were they like enemies in some
they had beef.
Cosmic way?
There was confused beef though, right? It was like they were kind of on the same side ultimately, but for different reasons. And it was just once they got it worked out, they're cool.
Wouldn't it be cool if in Sonic 2 they just
get ready because Bloodsport is coming to the island and he'll be going full send.
Just the most fucking just like.
Hey, Idris Elba here. Get ready because Bloodsport is coming to the island and he'll be going full send.
He'll be going full send.
And that's the best take.
He was good in that movie at least.
Okay. Wouldn't it be cool if they in Sonic 2 just got rid of the idea that like the rings are wormholes? They just completely abandoned that entire plot.
Spoilers, man. I haven't seen it.
Into the Spider-Verse has ruined movies going forward.
Yeah.
Why is that?
Post Malone is Big the Cat, please.
Okay.
Oh, right. Sure.
All right. Yeah.
Why not?
Why not? You get him on the soundtrack that way too. Maybe we can get Swaco back.
Oh man. And you get Big the Cat singing it in the movie. It's all diegetic.
Ooh. Wow.
Yeah, wow. That's cross media. That's how this works. Speaking of rings, I was watching some, I guess, leaked footage of X Defiant. They've been running some kind of beta or something like that. I know IGN put up some footage and stuff like that. There is a mode in there where they have kind of made the it's sort of like the way you collect skulls and stuff in a Halo, but they're rings that look just like kind of like Sonic rings, and when you and I just want them to make that game such that if you get shot while you're holding a bunch of rings, it needs to make the Sonic noise, or they've completely fucked up. I just need to put that idea out. I just need to say that onto the internet. Because that game needs something, and it might as well be that because the art style is not it. Anyway, Idris Elba will be Knuckles.
That's exciting.
Is
it? That movie's good. I'm gonna say it has very bad moments for sure, especially the Olive fucking Garden product placement. But it's good.
We're your family, man.
And when you see that scene, I almost combusted. That is what that did to me. My body could not process it.
My favorite part about the whole Olive Garden scene in the Sonic movie is that leading up to it, Ben Pack and I were filling out a Sonic's the Movie Mad Libs, and the Mad Libs spoiled that for us.
Wow.
Yeah.
What a terrible sequence of events for you.
I remember that.
Man.
I remember that. I was
so upset.
My God.
Truly dark times. Truly dark times. So these... The previous record for a sealed copy of a video game has been broken here. We had that 1.5 million-ish sale of a Mario 64, and there's probably an asterisk next to this in some way, in several ways maybe, but a sealed copy of the original Super Mario Brothers has sold for $2 million. to an anonymous buyer. Okay, so there's a platform out there, and this just seems like a dirtbag ass thing to do. This just seems like you just every sentence I read about this company was just like another layer of just like, man, we're so fucked. Like society,
yeah,
we're
get
so
used
fucked.
to it.
We're so fucked. So this is a company that I guess that they will get a hold of collectibles, and then they will sell shares of the collectible to people. So for $500 and change, you could buy a share of this sealed Super Mario Brothers, and then the shareholders will approve a sale, and they approved a sale for $2 million that got them back more money than they paid in.
Right.
And that's
this is
the
not
idea.
A foreign idea though. Like
no, this is a site that has existed before. Polygon has written this up here. I think so the idea was like they acquired this copy of Super Mario Brothers that was graded and sealed and all this other stuff. My understanding is it was not even like the rarest seal, like run of that game, but I would need to look into that a little bit deeper. And then yes, they went to their website of their customers on their website and said, if you want in on this, you can give us this amount of money, and then when we sell it, you'll get whatever shares you bought, you'll get that money back, maybe more, maybe less, depending on what it sells
maybe
for.
More. Right.
And there are so many points in this where it feels like this is all total bullshit that has been built up specifically to get people talking about this platform.
Yeah.
That this whole thing feels like now I'm wondering if this is what happened with that Mario 64, right? So it's an anonymous buyer. They're not identifying who that person is. That person's not coming out saying, it was me. I'm the fucking moron that paid $2 million for this game. And so it's obviously in this company's best interest to grab headlines by having a record-breaking sale, which then do you think that they bought it themselves?
Yeah.
And do you think they are the anonymous buyer?
Could be.
Yeah, it could be. I mean, I don't know one way or the other. We won't know unless the anonymous buyer decides to come forward, and even then, you'll have to wonder, did they put them up to it, or all this other stuff. But now, if we want to go deeper down the rabbit hole with me, do you think they also orchestrated the Mario 64 auction to get the ball rolling of like,
sure,
wow, these games are really blowing up, and 1.5 million, that's a lot of money. Wait a minute, 2 million on this other platform, and I could have gotten a piece of the action? Oh, I'm an idiot. I could have, fuck the Bitcoins, I could have got in on 2 shares of sealed Mario. This is fucking crazy. This is absolutely fucked. This whole thing just seems like because the pricing is so out of line with where a lot of this sealed pricing is. A sealed copy, I think in this Polygon article, they say a sealed Super Mario went for something like a third of this not that long ago, and I know prices are skyrocketing. And it was a different grade on that other copy as well. But as we discussed,
suspect.
Yeah. As we discussed with the Mario 64 story, this seems like a gigantic red flag upon red flag upon red flag. Like someone is trying to rip people off.
Yeah, it feels like The Big Short.
Yeah.
Adam McKay is going to make a movie about this in 15 years.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's
Uncut
telling.
Gems 2 is going to be about this.
I think it's telling on their website as you're scrolling through it. There's a little graphic of a Mario Brothers game as like a thing, like, oh, you could buy a share in this along with this jersey and this nice watch. Nothing about this seems
weird,
good at all.
No, these are markets that are barely markets and are highly open to manipulation. And like you just wonder, like, did cryptocurrency throw the door open on this, where people are like, well, what other scams can we run? Like, we got to get a grift going. The government's been doing it for the last several years. What the fuck are we doing? Like this just,
yeah.
Seems
I mean,
fucking bad.
This is what we get. This is all I can say. This is what you get.
They have a dinosaur skull on this website.
Okay.
Oh, I just want one tooth out of that. How much is that?
How much can I? Yeah.
Can I get the tooth?
How is left one? It's 25 per share. How is this less than a Super Mario Brothers game? The market cap, it says, is like 285,000
for the dinosaur
skulls out there. But how many sealed Super Mario Brothers are there?
Graded
no one has nostalgia for like, man, when I was a kid, I sure was hanging out with a lot of dinosaur skulls, and it'd be nice to own one of those in perfect condition. But with Mario, they are. Yeah, no,
What's crazy too, right, is like they seem to be offering IPOs on their already owned commodities. Meaning like they own a thing and then they kind of like decide its inherent value and then offer share prices based on what they declare its value. Like that just seems, I don't know. I mean, look, It's
anyway. It's this is obviously a sideshow to a lot of other fucking weird dark shit happening in the world today, but like it all just kind of, all of it aims in the same direction in a lot of cases, and this is our little corner of it, and I'm just incensed is not the word, it's more of a disgust about it. But also like anyone who has been a game collector for a good long time, and maybe I would say this because I have some sealed copies of video games, get in on this grift while you can. Grift, fleece these fucking morons for every fucking dime. Every fucking dime. And then go turn that into games you're actually going to play, or, whatever, fucking pay off your mortgage, do something. While these ain't NFTs. You are not fucking mining the fucking planet away to sell your fucking sealed copy of NBA Showtime for N64. Which, if you'd like to give me $2 million for my sealed copy of NBA Showtime for N64, contact me via this website. I can't fault anyone who has this stuff that is going to go out and get paid. Like, sealed games are weird anyway. I did not set out to collect sealed games. I think people that do are fucking strange. But as someone who has ended up with sealed video games, it is my intent one of these days to fucking turn that into money and never look back at these fucking scumbags. All right. Street Fighter V's final character.
Negan from Walking Dead.
Yep.
May as well be.
Whoa, where'd you get that from?
Tekken.
He's in Tekken?
He's in Tekken.
He is in Tekken, yeah.
Sorry, him and Lucille are in Tekken.
Really?
Darkening Tekken's doorstep with this.
Okay. Negan's a bad dude. He's a real bad guy.
But he doesn't. He's not the devil. How many people has he thrown into a volcano?
I'm gonna say none.
0.
See, that guy's a fucking punk ass.
Define volcano.
Like those things you smoke that you fill up the bag with the weed smoke, and it's like one of those, but it was in real life and it's full of hot lava.
Oh, some Mordor ass shit.
Yeah, some Mordor ass shit. That is you throwing your father or son into said volcano. Now that's Tekken. But
what's Street Fighter?
Luke will be the final Street Fighter character. They got a few more to go. They're bringing in Oro and Akira from Rival Schools, and Oro from Street Fighter 3 fame.
Just under a week,
Yeah, and then Luke will be out a little later in the year. They've shown this trailer. What do you think, Jason? I've seen some people compare him to maybe like Captain Commando in some of the moves,
maybe a couple, maybe as
like a projectile,
the projectile stuff. But he does seem like the most bland ass generic character in Street Fighter, and I'm including Shoto's. Luke just does not have any personality for me. He does nothing. And they're calling him like a kind of a gateway or a bridge to the next game. Like he's the future of
the
Street Fighter.
That's weird.
This is a glimpse of the future of Street Fighter, and
I don't get
I don't know. They put out that gameplay trailer, and I was like, some of the wall bounce stuff looks fun, but like,
yeah,
I don't know. He did not bug me as much as he bugged you, but at the same time, I don't know what to make of the idea of this being the future of Street Fighter, other than, is Luke the main character of Street Fighter 6?
Right.
Oh.
You know, that's certainly what they're kind of implying, I guess.
Right.
Oh, no.
That doesn't bode well. I don't think. But.
So I'm trying to think about and by think I mean Google it up here real quick. The timeline of Street Fighter. Street Fighter 5 is so Street Fighter 5 is the second to last in the timeline. Street Fighter 3 is still the only game to take place after the death of Bison.
Right.
And so if Luke is the future of Street Fighter, meaning he exists in the Street Fighter 5 era, he would then they would have to have a storyline reason for him to miss Street Fighter 3 because he's not there. Right. Do you think Street Fighter 6 is a post 3?
That makes no sense right now. No, actually, if it's pre 3, that's what would make the most sense, I guess.
So that would mean that 4, because that would mean it would go Street Fighter 1, then the Street Fighter Alpha games, then 2, then 4, then 5, then 6 is what you're saying, and then 3. Right.
Why not? Why not?
I mean, they want to have Bison in that game, right? So if you want to have Bison in that game, you either need a plot where you are bringing Bison back to life,
which is totally on the table.
Yeah, of course.
I mean, Ash came back, so
right. Yeah, zombie Bison. Why not? Or I don't know. Like, what do you want out of Street Fighter 6? Like, I feel like 5 has gotten support way longer than I would have thought. It's funny to see them announce it as like, this is the final character. Of course, there was that Capcom leak that put Street Fighter 6 on the table for Q3 of next year.
Yeah,
that leak was kind of pre-COVID, so who knows if that holds. But
it very well could.
What do you want? What do you want out of 6?
What do I want to see? Like, you're right. You know, Street Fighter got a lot of support after, and it needed it because it was so slight when it first came out, both in content and just systems, and it needed work, and I think they put in that work. It seems to be in a pretty good spot right now. Like, it seems to be pretty favorable in the fighting game community. There's still definitely people out there that are not into it, but I would still love to see a transition or a pivot back to like a 2D animation, or if they want to, the 2.5 stuff that Guilty Gear is doing right now. I would love that. But aside from that, just interesting systems. You know, I like I said, that they kind of got there with, like, you know, V-shift reversals and shit like that in 5. So I think they've got a team that, like, is really thinking about that kind of stuff. So fingers crossed. 6.
Yeah.
Fingers crossed for 2D.
Do you think if Luke is being billed as the future of Street Fighter, if we extrapolate from that Luke would maybe be the main character of Street Fighter 6, do you think they end up going down a Street Fighter 3? Because, you know, 4 and 5 both are like, here's the roster of Street Fighters, here's the World Warriors, here you go, and then some. Like, do you think that they would go with another Street Fighter 3-esque roster where they get way further away from the original 8, the original 12?
They were definitely trying to,
yeah.
In 3, where they kind of build Alex as somebody huge. You know, well, he was huge, but somebody big in terms of story, I guess. I don't know. I don't think commercially that 3 was their most popular. This is just speculation for the most part. And I think that's due in part to, them not having, a ton of the original cast. Because it was a very good game. It's just there wasn't the recognition, I guess.
I think that was the biggest problem.
I think they've
for me.
learned their lesson.
I remember, this was, GameSpot days, like going and seeing Street Fighter 3 for the first time, and just being shocked.
How damn good it looked, yeah.
Like that was definitely like just watching Ryu throw a fireball and just being like, holy fucking shit! Like you see every fucking frame.
His gi's like floating behind him and shit, and
just crazy. But then also being like, well, I don't think I like almost all of the characters in this game except for the old one. I was definitely on that boat of just like. They got too weird with some of those characters, and I wasn't on board with it. Like I think I eventually came around on Third Strike because by that point they had put Chun-Li back in and some other stuff like that, and it's like at that point you were like, well, systems wise this is an amazing video game and the parry system is really fun and neat and all this other stuff, but like it never.
I'm so bad at it.
Yeah, I've only gotten worse since. Like I was. Better at it when I was maybe a little bit younger, but it's I just the roster stuff always was really off-putting to me, but now we've had a couple of games where they've gone full roster and I have not been. I liked 4 quite a bit. I eventually moved away from it because it was around for a long time, and then 5 I kind of was never really big on. So I feel like now that we've had 2 games that have been just like, fuck it, here are the characters you know and love, we get it. Street Fighter 3 was not the most mainstream game in the world because we put the weird man in a bag in it, and the guy that looks like he fell out of Eternal Champions is in here in his trench coat and all that other shit. And they got back to basics, or they tried to, for the last couple of games, and now I'm sitting here going like, I don't want that. I don't think I want that again. So I would. It seems like a very high pressure situation to be in the position of figuring out what the fuck a Street Fighter 6 is, and I do not envy them for having to kind of solve those problems because I have no idea what I would do.
Right.
Yeah.
It's gonna take iterations, which is, what 5 has done. It has to be listening to fans, the fan base, what they want. So
I do know what I would do. I would make Alpha 4.
There you go.
I would bring back air blocking.
Sure.
Like that would be fun.
Pick it up.
Yeah.
Chain combos.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Sign me up.
Funimation, the anime service owned by Sony, has purchased Crunchyroll, the anime service formerly owned by Warner, for $1.175 billion.
Wow, anime's hot.
That's a lot of stuff.
That's a lot of animes.
It feels like just yesterday that we were launching animevice.com, only to discover that no one wanted to advertise anywhere around anime because the audience was viewed as just full-on pirates that never spent money on anything.
And perverts.
Pirates and perverts, they are the same. And now here we are. I am only bringing this up because it is a big sale of a Warner property. There's been a lot kicking around about the whole AT&T and Warner Media and all this other stuff that they are trying to spin loose. The studio that made the mobile game Golf Clash, Playdemic, was sold to EA about a month ago for $1.4 billion. So the Warner... the Warner fire sale, I don't know, they're getting billions of dollars. Maybe that's not such a fire sale, but the Warner cutting down stuff is continuing, and I wonder if we'll see any of the other gaming properties kind of get dealt as a part of this. But want to acknowledge that they did say that they were looking to unify the services and offer some kind of combined subscription somewhere down the line.
Ironically, if you sign up with Crunchyroll right now, you get 3 months of Xbox Game Pass.
Oh, excellent. Yeah.
Synergy.
Synergy.
Well,
I'm sure Sony's happy about that.
Yeah. They're like, wait, God damn it. Shit.
Yep.
Someone sent me a hockey anime. Someone sent me.
Sure.
It's new. It's coming in October. Someone sent it to me a while ago and then sent it to me again. It's like, cute, like sort of a cute girls ice hockey team. And
is that not how hockey is normally?
It depends on which league you're watching, but man, I thought the animation looked more realistic than a lot of hockey bullshit out there. So
hey,
I'm gonna watch this.
Check it out. Excellent.
I'm gonna let's say I'm gonna check it out. I have not animated really ever before, so I will
anime as hard as you've ever animated.
I guess I don't know how to do it. I have no experience, so I'm just gonna try to animate. Okay, I'm not above it.
Yeah, we'll see. I don't know, just watching cartoons.
Yeah, that's all.
It's fine. PAX Australia has been canceled.
What?
Yeah, this was announced a while back as they were going to have a full-on live real event, and now they're pulling back from that due to this COVID thing. I don't know if you heard about this.
Sweeping the nation, the world,
again.
The world.
Okay.
Yes, the reunion tour. It's an online show now. People will get refunds if they bought tickets to this. I feel like even when they announced that this was going to be a real event, it didn't feel like the right move. And the question I have here is, why the fuck is PAX West still on the books for early September as a real event?
Good question.
There's no real way they can go through with it, right? Like,
I can't imagine. So the change they made is originally they were like, yeah, we're going to have the show. And that was all they kind of said. And then I believe they tried to backtrack later, almost as if tickets were not selling or something, and said, like, we're going to require that people be vaccinated to come. Like, that was the update. They're like, yeah, we're going to do that. And that thing is on for early September. And I just cannot imagine. I've gotten I think I got one email from a company that was like, hey, are you going to go to PAX? We're trying to put together, it was like a PR person that handled multiple companies, and they were just kind of like, we're trying to decide if press is going to be there, and if so, if that's something we want to attend and show stuff to y'all at. Are you going to go? And I was like, fucking no. And like I said, that was only one person. Normally there's a bit more outreach by now in terms of people trying to say like, hey, do you want to come? Do you see us at PAX, or we're going to do this? So I just wonder where that stuff is even at.
It's, just trying to get inside the mindset of that. And it's like, maybe there is this last minute sort of thing that they are thinking about. I would not use the last few weeks as a positive indicator of where the future of that show would be going, but it does seem like there are wild swings in either direction. Well, we know which direction we're headed in now. But I'm just trying to wrap my head around it. I don't know.
But think about all
sort of thing. You can look at the local numbers and go like, well, what's Seattle like? What's Washington like? But
but it's not that. People are coming from all over.
Flying in.
Yeah. Like, it's not.
You just say hey, if you're flying from Florida, you can't come. Is that
right. Well, that should always be the case, but
IDs at the door.
Yeah.
I was reading.
I remember.
Yeah, go ahead.
I remember the swine flu year.
Oh, right.
I'm pretty sure I got swine flu. I got something. I got sick, definitely, and it was not super bad. So maybe it was just like a regular flu and not the swine flu. I don't know what the actual difference is, but I had to come back, and I worry that I may have been like patient 1, if not patient 0, at a Halo 4 review event, because I went there immediately after PAX and started feeling sick over the course. Basically finished the campaign, sitting there in a room full of other people, played a little bit of multiplayer, and was like, I'm definitely sick. I gotta go. I gotta leave. This is not the sniffles. I gotta get the fuck out of here before, and left the event a little bit early. But ugh.
I don't know.
That's the wild thing, right? Like, You get back from CES, everyone gets sick.
Yeah.
Everyone calls it the CES cold or CES flu, and that's the big old joke. And that's when there's not a pandemic.
Yeah.
Well, that last so I like there were definitely people that I don't know if we still work with them, but worked with them at the last company. I assume they're still with us, but like I remember hearing that there were people that came out of CES that year way sicker
2020?
than normal. Yes, and we're wondering kind of in retrospect, like, wait a minute, was that it?
I mean,
Probably
entirely
some of the
possible.
I mean, we had some GameSpot homies that went to PAX East right when stuff was started to shut down that were super worried about, did they bring it? Did they catch it? How
I mean,
serious
that's why
of a thing?
like I felt a physical reaction when we got the word of like, hey, does anyone want to come up to Seattle to see the Steam Deck? Because there was like multiple weeks of like me and my wife looking at the newspaper and her being like, I don't think you should go. And I was like, yeah, but it's Half-Life Alyx. I should probably go, and it's Valve. I want to see this stuff.
The Index, you mean?
Well, so it was a Half-Life Alyx review event, and so it was like it was coming up there and playing it on the Index, and that was before that game had come out, and as everything was shutting down, and then just like day by day, week by week, checking in with them and being like, this thing's still happening, and eventually they were like, yo, no, it's not. But for the longest time, and that was Seattle, which Seattle was pretty early on one of the cities where that stuff was happening, and it was just this feeling like, so just something about that email, just everything, every sense in my body went like, don't go to that. I'm glad you did. I would have loved to have gone, but
yeah, there was that airport going back to SFO definitely felt very, very, very crowded. And I mean, thankfully that everyone was wearing masks, but doesn't help feeling the existential dread that it's somewhere around you.
I think when they get to a point where they've done enough testing or whatever they need to do, where I can, like, if my daughter can get vaccinated, I will probably feel a billion times better about like, fuck it, let's go, let's get on a plane and go. But like right now, I'm just like, ugh. All this stuff seems still
the shady
crazy.
part is like that they still haven't canceled PAX West, and then certain airlines are rolling back all of their refund policies because stuff is opening up. So there's potentially flights and hotel bookings that can't get refunded at this point. Ugh.
Well, it's going to have to. I mean, the last time a lot of the things that you expected to cancel that were taking forever to cancel, it was all of them waiting on their insurance policies to like wait for their like act of God, like force majeure, whatever clause to kick in.
Yeah.
And they couldn't say anything until that happened. So I wonder what will even happen with PAX, because like it seems like insurance companies, like everyone just seems to, when it comes to money and liability and all other stuff, people just seem to be like looking the other way and whistling. And so I just don't think that they're gonna like be responsible and shut shit down at a government level, which would be the thing that would trigger PAX getting canceled, and then Reed would not be on the hook for all the building rentals and all the other fees and all the other stuff in the same way that they would be otherwise. So like they're probably on the hook if this thing, I don't know, man. We'll see. Stay home and play Windjammers 2.
Okay.
The open beta will start tomorrow and will last until the 22nd on PC, PS4, and PS5. I had forgotten that Windjammers 2 was ever a thing. It seems like they just kind of blacked out on that for a good long time. It didn't say too much about it. They've got a video out today showing a new character. I think there's going to be 4 characters in the beta. It's mostly there to test online. Ben Pack and I played a fair amount of Windjammers 2 at PAX 9,000 years ago, whenever the hell that was. Right. Jesus.
Dave Lang said that there wasn't going to be a second one, and I just took that as gospel. And then, then here it is.
I think he saw it coming and was just like, "What can we do to stop this? Is there a virus? Is there something? Can we get something going here? Can we stop this? Will it also stop anime? No. Well, shit.
It just made it stronger.
Yeah, it just made anime stronger. That was you could not have anticipated that. I'm really curious to see what this thing is. Because it's and I assume it'll be exactly the same as when Ben and I saw it, but with online play and all this other stuff. But yeah, it's just been such a long time. I wonder when this is going to come out, and I don't think they have said. I don't think they attached a release date to this. But yeah, that open beta will hit tomorrow. And I don't know the timing. Well, no, this is PC, PS4, and PS5, so no, maybe not. But I was about to say the timing on this is curious because Nintendo is having an Indie World showcase tomorrow, and where they will show off some independent video games. I assume they will have some day and date releases there to go with that or something. But yeah, we'll see what they have to say. And yeah, that's it for the news.
That's it.
Cool.
See you news.
Yeah, see you news. Check out Windjammers 2. Maybe that'll be good. They've added like some additional moves to it over Windjammers 1.
Yeah, like a jump.
And stuff like that kind of seemed interesting at the time. But man, it's just been so long since I even played that thing that I can't even remember. Like if it was, I remember coming away from going like, yeah, seems like Windjammers. They added that thing to it. Like seems all right. Mm-hmm. So yeah, we'll see what that has been. Let's take another break and we'll come back and check out some emails. And we're back and we've got some emails. Bombcast@giantbomb.com is where you want to send your emails so that I can flip through them.
I have an email.
Go
real
ahead.
Quick.
Jeff from New Jersey wrote in with this.
From New Jersey. During the break, I went downstairs and there was a cake that we had, and some Tupperware from the weekend.
Yeah, some weekend cake.
It's really good cake. It's like cake that I haven't seen in many years because it's from Milk Bar in the city, the Mamafuku milk, right? I don't see that cake. And the cake, I was going down there. Before I even looked at the counter, I took a fork out of the drawer because I knew I was just going to get a little scoop of cake before the last segment of the Bombcast. Yeah. I go to the spot where it is. Guess what, gents? It's gone.
Cake is gone.
Okay? There was too much cake for my wife to have so I'm panicking a little bit. I looked at the fish and then I went to the garbage.
Look at the fish.
I don't know. Maybe the fish ate the cake. I look at the garbage, and I'm there with the garbage thing open, looking down at what appears to be perfectly edible cake on the top of the garbage. So there I am, looking at the cake in the garbage, looking at my fork in my hand, being like, next step is just poking out a little piece of garbage cake. And then I realized like maybe that's not where I'm at right now. As good as that cake is, and as much as I ate it over the weekend and yesterday and and earlier after lunch when I took a bite of it too, I kind of just slowly closed the drawer there, admitted defeat, and just ate some beef jerky and
meat cake.
I just came here. Yeah. Yes, I came here to meat cake. I came here to report I did not partake in garbage cake as badly as
I thought this was just elaborate viral promotion for the upcoming Dan Reichert and Jeff Bakalar show Back to School.
Nope.
As I feel 10 times out of 10, a Dan Reichert would have gone down the other road there.
Oh yeah. I think 10 out of 10 is pretty fucked up. Like there's situations where that cake is gone for sure. You're right. It's probably 999 out of 1,000 for that guy eating garbage cake. Seen him do it. Seen him eat a lot worse than that. Ranch soda. Fucking who the hell knows what the hell. Anyway, that show's a lot of fun. Jan's been cutting up episode 1, hearing stories. You all right, Jan? You fuck your shit up or what?
No, it's gonna be good. It's gonna be good. It's gonna be good.
Yeah, it's good times.
Excellent. Well, I apologize. My condolences to your cake. I think we have worked out in this household where I have become the designated cake thrower awayer.
Oh. Someone's got to do it.
Yeah, and so I'm
Someone's
the one who has
to
make the decision of like, okay, I am done cramming this into my disgusting body, and now it is time to put the rest of it in the trash.
Yeah. We go to the shore and we get a bunch of taffy and a bunch of fudge, and it's like, we're not done with that. I don't think we're done with that.
And then, it went bad. We've only had it 3 days. What are you talking about? Yeah.
It's still more than edible. I mean, that taffy doesn't go bad. You can hold on to taffy for, I want to say, months.
Yeah, and they probably did before they sold it to you.
And just there's nothing more upsetting than that first discovery of the confections in the trash, because you're just like, there was time. We missed out. There was time.
I was never a big cake. I'm still not the biggest cake fan. I like a nice pie. But at my wedding, we went and tasted a bunch of different types of cake, and that was nice because I got to eat a whole lot of cake and a lot of different flavors. I'm like, this is all fun. Sure. Let's get these 3 flavors for our multiple tiered cake. And then I got married, and then there was cake, and then I had to get up because when you get married, you have to walk around and talk to people, which is fucking crazy. It's just like, what? Come on. And when I got back to my table, my cake was gone. And there was no cake left. Someone stole my cake.
Yeah.
What?
I got like a bite of cake. I got like 1 or 2 bites of cake, and then when I got back to my table, after making the rounds, my cake was fucking good.
The cake had been there a long time, and nobody else was eating it, seemingly. So,
the groom's cake?
It's not your cake.
I mean, it's not my cake, but somebody that, didn't want it to go to waste.
And
somebody had to.
As long as it went to a good home.
Right.
Yeah. That's the best you can hope for. Yeah.
Thank you, Jason.
I didn't eat your cake.
I
didn't eat your cake.
Someone ate my goddamn cake.
Damn.
Someone ate my god.
Someone ate my goddamn cake. It was good cake too.
Yeah, I was very thrilled. So now I have to like, and the person who the woman who we met and made the cake has gone out of business since then. Like for a while, like a year or so ago, we were like, man, what if we just looked up the cake lady and said, like, make us a smallie, make us like just like a little bit of something, that'd be fun. We got married, we had this cake. I mean, someone had this cake. My wife had some of that cake. I didn't have any fucking cake, but someone had some of that cake. Let's get some of that. And she had retired. And I was like, well,
there goes that.
Andrew writes in with a Jägermeister story.
Oh, those
Jägermeister tales.
Oh god, that's number 2 in my aversion to words.
Andrew
skin.
Yeah. Jägermeister skin. I'm catching up this week on podcast. This might be a little bit late, but I couldn't ignore Jeff Bakalar mentioning he had been on tour with a band back in 2004 and they consumed copious amounts of Jaeger. You remember this story? Is this yeah?
That checks out. My memory says that's correct.
Yeah, I have some experience in this department, as from 2008 to 2010, I was in a metal band from Long Island who was sponsored by Jägermeister.
Oh, they all were.
Yeah, right? We didn't get the actual booze for free, but we did get tons of merch, like t-shirts with our logo on the back and their logo on the front. That's
the ultimate diss.
Yeah. Posters of us to use at shows, a big 8x10 scrim to hang behind us, and 2 giant inflatable Jägermeister bottles. I have included a photo of it, as I recently had to get rid of it, and we inflated it one last time before chucking it. This is like a car-sized bottle of Jägermeister.
God.
Yeah.
Oh God.
That would be. I think it would be fun to. I would not have any room for it in my life right now, but it would be very fun to have a gigantic inflatable Jägermeister bottle. I think.
Maybe.
Yeah. Except unless if looking at it makes you break out in cold sweats, then maybe that's maybe that's not the right.
There is I can taste the colors. Like there's something. Jaeger did something to me. It broke my my brain in that way.
Yeah.
And that's it. That smell, if that smell comes in through a nostril, forget it.
Yeah, my old roommate came up to get some stuff out of my garage as I'm packing up, and we were able to reminisce on the numerous times we ended up at extremely questionable parties, just the two of us and a ice cold bottle of Jägermeister, and going like, we have to go away from it. We cannot be here. We cannot drink this Jägermeister here because we will go to jail.
Jaeger bombs.
Yeah,
who's up for Jaeger bombs? Relax.
We were just we were not we were not making Jaeger bombs. We were just passing the bottle back and forth while also drinking Red Bulls, I think was usually how that went. It was like not quite.
It's efficient.
It's a mess. You know, it's like doing any kind of drop shot drink is just a hassle. We were dropping what was it called? Electric gloves, and the name came from a dream that I think my roommate had. I don't remember. One of us had, and then we asked a bartender, "What is this drink?" And she came up with, this was back when you could buy Sparks, back in the kind of pre-Four Loko, as the caffeinated alcohol boom was just starting. Yeah, the great days.
Yes.
And it was a pint of Sparks, and you were dropping a shot of Jaeger into that.
Oof.
It was pretty good. It was pretty good.
Wow, my tum hurts.
Yeah.
Seriously, so much. Like, it's one thing to want to get drunk. I get it. But like, the duty's not worth it. Like just the duties. It's not worth it. It's not worth it.
I never really had a problem with any kind of drinking poop stuff too much.
Well, no, I've never had problem drinking poop either, but I feel like that was always the dice you rolled. That was the risk you took, was making all that anarchy in your belly. You know?
Well, we were also, then it was just like, well, now someone has brought over too much Taco Bell, or one time I think we commanded the sober person to be like, you need to drive us to the Krispy Kreme right now.
Yes. Like, I don't hear that. I just hear someone saying like, I want to make a duty.
Yeah.
And that's what I hear with that kind of language.
Metamucil is not vodka soluble, in case you were wondering.
Yeah.
I'm glad you did the science for this. Thank you.
Yeah. Jeff with 3 Fs, that can't be real, writes in and says, Bud Light Platinum is sort of low-key one of my favorite beers.
Okay.
I do drink hoppy bitter beers and enjoy the higher ABV, but something lost there is the refreshment aspect of beer.
Fuck you.
There's a lot of water.
Yes, fuck you is right. Yeah, because you're drinking all that water in that Bud Light, my dog.
Maybe it's the decades of marketing or a low-grade functional alcoholism, but a key aspect of beer in my eyes has always been the refreshment, which is what makes the Platinum shine up. It's 6% and still tastes just right when it's so cold there's ice forming in it.
Does this motherfucker sell beers at the ball game?
This is great. Like, this is like, I want a Bud Light Platinum now. I'm like, yeah, man, that does sound good. It's 90 degrees out there today, and it is rapidly becoming that temperature here in this room.
Like, that is the biggest crock of shit that I think we've ever been conditioned to learn, is that somehow drinking beer is this hydration fucking event. No, motherfucker, it takes water out of your body.
Yeah,
okay?
like all these ads of like the wet cans and someone just rubbing it against their forehead and just like some sexy Corona ad or whatever, and
get out of here.
Addendum, he says that I should drink a 9% Voodoo Ranger Imperial IPA and review it. Make sure to use waterproof equipment because it's not staying down.
I don't know what that is.
I think it means that.
I think a lot of confusion going on with the IPA conversation is people assume that all these beers are bitter, and that is where they're all wrong. the reason IPAs have exploded and like the Northeast IPA has become so popular is because when you drink it, it doesn't taste like the bitter traditional IPA. These are very smooth, and that part of the problem is that they go down too smooth. And and that's the thing. It is like there's no bitter aftertaste. They are really refined in an amazing way. And that, I think, is a thing that gets lost on people who are not super into that scene, which is understandable. Like, you got...
That's kind of where I'm at, yeah.
Yeah, if you're just looking for smooth beers, then why aren't you just, like, throwing back 6 cans of hams?
I don't even know what the fuck hams are. Number one,
well,
what's a ham?
Maybe it's Pacific Northwest, or like a natty ice.
Then I know what that is.
Isn't a bear the mascot of hams?
You're just drinking brown water. Yeah. I mean, it's just the thing. Like I said, we're gonna figure out a tasting situation soon, and we'll get through this. And then it's just gonna be 5 people being like, "Yeah, IPs are like good. IPs are really good." There's nothing left to talk about. And we'll just have to go on to the next
India
thing.
Pale Ale, right? Or is that just one of the brands? It's what, yeah.
No, that's what it stands for, yeah.
Okay, yeah. All right. Wiley from Massachusetts also writes in about beer. Almost the overwhelming majority of these emails are about beer.
I mean, Massachusetts, what was the person's name?
Wiley.
I mean, all right, there's some good shit up there, so I'm very curious to hear where this conversation goes.
Okay. I wanted to address some of the recent discussions. I know Baclar is an enthusiast, and that Jeff's never really been a fan, especially of the trendier, fancy beers. I hope that Baclar's shipment is something that Jeff enjoys, but the focus on IPAs is maybe a bit too much. My wife works at a craft beer, wine, and cheese shop, and has for several years as the food buyer. In that time, I've spent a lot of time enjoying the at-cost discount, as well as befriending many of the other employees who know more than I likely ever will about beer. I also spent several years as the beer buyer for a craft brew-focused restaurant. I'm not an expert, but I've been around the craft beer block. While IPAs are certainly still big sellers, there has been a pretty strong backlash to their pervasiveness in craft beer circles, especially those with added lactose, vanilla, or gimmicks like marshmallow. If I attend a bottle share, is that a thing? Have you ever been to a bottle share?
It sounds just like when a group of
good way to get
people...
COVID.
Yeah, I mean... It's just like people trading cans. Like that's what my friends do.
Everyone brings a case, and you're just like, here, take one of these.
Yeah,
I'll give you one of these. Okay.
It's a beer swap. Yeah.
Okay. Well, if Wiley attends a bottle share, he says the IPAs are actually pretty rare nowadays. I am more likely to encounter farmhouse ales, wild ales, saisons. I don't know what that is, and even German-style pilsners, sour beers from Belgium like Cantillon. Or here in the U.S., like Jester King, get the brew nerds far more excited than a super fresh hazy IPA, at least around here.
It's sort of like a bit of a changing tide, I feel like. I mean, around here, the IPAs are still probably number one, but like a close second now are all these fruited sour, like Saisons or Gose, Gose, beers. And some of these taste like fruit punch, like actual fruit punch, and are like 9%. And you're just like, when did this happen? How are we doing this?
Check this out, though. I could go buy a fruit punch flavored G2
you could,
Gatorade.
Yes.
And it's like low calorie. And then I could drink it down until the nipple part is gone, and then fill that back up with vodka, put the cap back on, shake it, and then that tastes a lot like fruit punch also, and is going to be probably more than 9%.
It's maybe. Look, I mean, I am not as well versed in that world. I'm starting to get into them. But here's the thing, right? Like,
I can also bring it to fifth period. My Spanish teacher ain't going to know shit.
If you want to drink in high school, that's how you do it. Please do not do that. I got in
some trouble doing exactly that when I was in high school.
Or just like people removing the water from a water bottle and filling it with just straight up vodka. Don't do that either.
Yes, I know someone who did that. It was a bad. They had to stay home from school for a while after that happened.
Yeah, forcibly. Yeah. You know, it's weird. Like, it's cool. The beers are going in interesting places. You know, I like, you know, when I was upstate New York over the beginning of the summer, I saw a lot of that stuff, and it's good. I can't drink a lot of that because after a while you're just like, am I an 11-year-old? Like, I'm just drinking all this like strawberry gelato beer is what is the thing now. And it's just like, I'm like, all right, it tastes good, but for me, I would rather drink a standard sort of like IPA. But it's all good. I welcome all different kinds of beer except Bud Light Platinum.
Okay, I hear Bud Light Platinum is all the rage. He then suggests that maybe I would more easily get into craft beer by drinking a Hell's or a Kolsch. I think I may have had a Kolsch at one point.
Yeah. I've heard of that.
Perhaps a tart-fruited kettle sour might satisfy a similar taste bud cluster as an energy drink. I don't know. Yeah,
I don't see how the fruited thing can last as long as the craft IPA has lasted, but we'll see where we go. But yes, like you can get like marshmallow IPAs or have been big for a while, and like you take a sip of that, it's like 11%, and you're just like, the fuck did I just drink? Like someone just melt down a bunch of marshmallows and put it into a beer. I wouldn't
want to drink that. I wouldn't. I don't want to drink a marshmallow. That's gross.
Those are the beers, in my opinion, that you have to share with at least 2 other people.
That sounds like let me get a shot of this. It tastes a little bit like marshmallow. That's hilarious, right? Yeah. And like you have 2 sips of it, and you're like, "Fuck this."
Yeah, you can't drink a lot of that for sure.
Christian writes in and says, "Hey, traditionally, the NHL games from EA get released around the middle or end of October. As of the writing of this email, we've seen nothing from NHL 22, and that makes me think the game's either going to be delayed or they won't do a proper current gen version, which, as he puts it, would suck Seattle Kraken balls." We think hockey this year. You think it's going to happen? You think it'll happen on PS5? And
maybe they just forgot about it this year.
Yeah. Oh, Jason, that's not very nice.
We're working on it.
You think like they just stopped, and we just stopped going into work and no one seemed to notice. And therefore there won't be an NHL game this year.
The ice rink was at the office and we don't know how to do it. From home.
We haven't seen a puck in 2 years. Who knows what it looks like now? I don't know. I don't know where it is. I feel like I start hearing about it around now because they usually come around. It usually comes out first or second week in September.
And they usually don't show it at E3. They, if they do, it's never like a big focus.
Yeah, I mean, the last one they really cared about was like 14 or like 15, if memory serves. Yeah, I don't know. I usually do hear from them being a hockey person.
They know who the hockey people are out there. They know who are going to be who's the soft touch for our hockey game when the time comes.
I mean, yes and no. Like there was you're going to
be the ones that are just like ready to eviscerate it because you're like, you fucking phoned it in again.
Yeah, I mean, the door swings both ways with that, right? Like it can go really positively or negatively. I think the last time that I was very happy with the game was around that same time that it was at E3, maybe 13 or 14. Yeah, and then I just can't remember anything.
Yeah, that probably was the year they made a big push because I used to. So that was always the part of the Judges Week stuff. Is you took appointments for every game. You were there to judge. You saw everything during that Judges Week kind of pre-E3 event sort of thing. And so between that and just like having done this for a long time, like I have taken a ton of appointments for sports games that I oftentimes know little to nothing about, and I remember coming out of some of the NHL meetings around that period being like, okay, yeah, they're at least talking a good, like the improvements or the things they are talking about look fascinating. I don't know whether it's going to be a great game or not, but that seems like that was the era when they had their last big push of like, here I am talking to producers about NHL and they seem psyched and all this other stuff, and then it all kind of dried up again. Looks like I missed who it was in Neil Rock in chess in chat says looks like they are taking registrations for an NHL 22 closed technical test, which they probably wouldn't do a technical test unless they were bringing it to new platforms. So
I mean, look, this is the one that's supposed to be, the refresh, right? Like this is how it's been billed. Yeah. We'll see.
Yeah. Aaron from Dallas writes in, says, a friend and I were getting into an argument about the 16-bit era, and we came to the conclusion the U.S. did not make a bunch of platformers in the 16-bit era. So many non-Nintendo games of that era came out of UK studios. The only exception we could find were a few from Interplay and Sculptured Software. Even then, pickings are few. Booger Man, the Super Star Wars games, and a few spare releases. Was Booger Man really the third or fourth best US-made platformer of the 16-bit era?
I can speak
this era.
to that.
Yeah. Can you speak to Booger Man? Is Booger Man the third or fourth best US-made platformer in the 16-bit era?
I could just speak about Booger Man. I played a ton of Booger Man, and that does feel like an American-ass game for sure. Yeah. I mean, there's no mixing that up. But was it any good is the question. And I'm not sure it was. I don't think that game was very good. I think it kind of I shouldn't say that. It kind of stutters out at like the third level. And you're sort of like, well, I'm not even sure what to do anymore.
So it's pretty much just Earthworm Jim. I mean, at least Earthworm, at least has 3 levels. Like Earthworm Jim, you get to level 2 and you're like, I think I'm done with this. Yeah, that's Booger Man always seemed like a bad game to me. I didn't play it until years later and was just like, this sucks. But yes, the 16-bit era, when you really go back and look at it, especially a lot of games from Acclaim and stuff like that. Like Acclaim had big development roots in the UK. They had a lot of studios over there that were doing stuff. You saw a lot of games in the 16-bit era. A lot of Amiga developers were kind of already developing 16-bit games, and so it made sense in some cases for those games to come to the consoles. And so in the UK studios, I feel like got a ton of port work, bringing some of those games over to consoles, and yeah, there was just UK development seemed like a much more massive thing in that era than it did in the generations afterwards, I guess I would say. So,
Owl Cave in the chat is asking who made Vector Man.
I believe that was STI, the Sega Technical Institute.
I have fond memories of that game.
Loved that one.
Oh, Blue Sky Software, Pseudo Interactive. Well, that's actually, who's the original developer there? What am I looking at? Okay, Blue Sky Software made that. They were in California.
Oh. Vector Man's entered the chat, maybe.
Yes. Vector Man is here to stink up the joint.
I mean, unless they... So they said, was it the third or fourth best? What were the other ones?
Yeah, it was. I lost. I do not have the email in front of me anymore. But yeah, there was kind of slim pickings. Like Interplay and Sculptured Software had a few platformers that were coming out of the US. But there was stuff like
Aladdin there.
Awesome Possum was probably developed in the US.
Possum? What?
Awesome Possum Kicks Dr. Machino's Butt is the full name.
It's the first time I've ever seen this box art.
Yeah, it's he's like, you think the Bubsy, but that's Bubsy was probably developed in the States. You think Bubsy was bad, you should check out Awesome Possum Kicks Dr. Machino's Butt. He says things like, I'm awesome.
That sounds cool.
And it's kind of a educational, like, recycling thing too. There's Rolo to the Rescue, which is your play as a tiny little elephant.
Okay.
And it's more of a puzzle platformer, but EA put that out. Vector Dean. Where is Vector
Claymates
Dean
has entered the competition.
Yeah, Claymates is certainly... okay, Vector Dean's the James Pond developer. I believe they're in the UK. Yeah. Anyway. Rolo to the Rescue is not a terrible game. Better than Awesome Possum, that's for sure. All right. Here's an email. I think, not to just, I know, the four of us get together and talk business all the time, and usually we do it off stream, but, this is a rare chance where we get to maybe do a little bit of on-stream business. Let's see here. Paid promotion for Giant Bombcast, Raid Shadow Legends, August 21st. Hello, my name is Ekaterina. Nice to meet you. I represent Zorka Agency, a global influencer and performance marketing agency. We are working with such brands as NetEase, Wargaming, Pixonic, Plarium, etc. We have a special offer for your podcast channel from the mobile game Raid Shadow Legends for iOS, Android, and PC. We are interested in a 60 seconds mid-roll on your channel. Campaign is planned for the end of August. Please let me know if that sounds interesting to you, and if yes, how much that would cost. Look forward to collaborating with you. Best regards, Zorka Agency. Let's get that Raid Shadow Legends money.
Let's get like in exchange for like 6 4-terabyte SSDs.
There you go.
Yeah.
No, come on. We can't sell out for that. That's $4,000. We can't sell out for $4,000. We should, if we're doing ads, we need to sell out for at least mid 6 figures, right? This is
okay.
So right back and be like $500,000, motherfuckers.
I will just write back and say $500,000, motherfuckers, and because it'll come from the podcast email address and not mine, so it won't even have my name on it. But
yeah. I mean,
XOXO.
Yours, the Bombcast.
Yes. Is that okay? All right. I'll get back to them and yeah, we'll see.
How we do
follow up with that.
Business.
Nathan from business adjourned.
This is how we do it.
It's of the spam ass weird emails we get to this address. That is the first time I've seen that one. Normally, it is like rinky-dink podcast directories that are like scam-looking spam sites that write and say like, "We've created a page for your podcast. You should log in and claim it so that you can post something there." I'm like, no, what? Who does that?
15 different fonts being used.
Yeah, right.
In the email.
I don't do that. Nathan from Tumwater, Washington writes in and says, "What's your favorite card game?"
Uno.
Uno's definitely up there for me.
Yeah.
I think Uno with some custom rules is a hell of a game.
Lately for me it's been Monopoly Draw.
Oh, I have ended friendships and almost a relationship because of that game.
Oh, I have not gotten to that part of the game. What is what
well, there's probably deeper seated issues because of that, but that's fun though.
So, February 2020, I was on a ski trip and we skied and played Monopoly Draw an equal amount of time. Like it just took over, and I love it. It's awesome.
That sounds cool.
Yeah, it's like it is deep in a way that I was not expecting. Apparently, you can ruin people's lives with it, according to Jan.
And relationships.
Yeah, tons of fun.
Yeah. If it's not playing the Pokemon game, it's just throwing cards.
You trying to lean them on a wall, trying to land them in a hat? What are you aiming at anything? Okay, just
are you
cards,
trying to
just
like
Gambit style?
Not even doing it well, just like. It's like, oh, it's fun to see it spin around.
I was watching, my kid was watching some scientist YouTube person who's like, he's like an ex-NASA guy or something. And he's like, I built a robot that can flick cards better. This thing was fucking cutting through like avocados and whatever the fuck. Like you could really fuck dangerous. Shit. You can fuck shit up. Like Gambit was no joke. Like that was a documentary. The Gambit story.
Yeah. It's Gambit was 99.
Yeah. It's all real. It's all documented real.
Mm-hmm. He's just trying to get some gumbo. Balin writes in and says, "What do you think of the IPA Juicy J?"
I've never had it. I don't know what it is or where it came from. But Juicy,
he says choose your words. Juicy, Jay, spelled out like that. He says, "Choose your words wisely. I work at the brewery."
Yeah. Well, thanks for leading up to that. I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Leave that out. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm looking it up real quick. It looks like it is based in, I don't know, Jersey.
All right.
Well, it sounds like Balin deserves a raise because they're such a fantastic worker.
I know.
Yeah, good job. Yeah,
nice work.
I'm
Balin.
sorry. It's in North Carolina.
Okay.
It's Legion Brewing is what my search is pulling up here. Never had it. Sorry. All right. I'm sure it's nice.
Well, it's the closest to me, so I guess I'll have to receive the care package.
Road trip.
All right.
Road trip.
Yeah. Chris from Honolulu writes in because we were talking about video game themed cars the other day, and he has kind of a weird one. He says, "I noticed what might be the actual Tetris company car here on the island."
What?
And it's he found a Honda Odyssey, which is I believe a minivan or small SUV, and the license plate is just Tetris. Wow.
That's pretty cool.
They are the Tetris people are in Hawaii, so that does check out. And I love the idea that they are, whoever got that is balling to the degree of like, put it on my Honda Odyssey.
I was at my hockey game last week, and there was a green Mustang in the parking lot, and the license plate was TH3 space HULK.
That sucks. Unless it has Tokyo Drift style fucking bow wow fists coming out of it, I don't think you can call your car the Hulk.
I just went up to it and started crying right in its face. The car. It was just...
Have you seen these electric Mustang SUV things that they started selling? Where they're like, hey, everyone who used to care about the Mustang brand now has kids and now needs a vehicle that can haul shit, and they have made like a Mustang Mach.
Yeah, I'm looking at it.
A Mach E, I think it is.
Yeah, 2021 Mach E.
And they have made an electric crossover Mustang, and I had a 97 Mustang GT, and then growing up a friend of mine had a 65. And there's a part of me that is just like, I think this nightmare vehicle looks kind of cool. It's a disaster of a car, but
I mean, it's got a nice body, like, it's sharp looking. It's wild that they're like, I mean, Mustang is not a niche brand, right? Like, there's been Mustangs forever.
Right.
So to just make it this now is an interesting choice by the Ford company to just go and turn it into whatever this is.
Yeah, it's like just some nightmare of marketing where I think they're just like, I don't know, we're gonna make the front end look like a Mustang, and then as you get further back, you go, oh yeah, a Mustang, and you're like, wait, why is this so tall? What's going on? Whoa,
a hatchback? What?
Yeah.
Where'd this come from? I mean, I'm sure this thing rips too. It probably goes like 0 to 60 in 4 seconds or some shit.
Like it's like a fucking electric. It's probably got some kind of fucking ridiculous mode. Whatever the fuck. I don't know.
All electric cars are like I mean, they're not inexplicably fast, but it's just so funny how fast they are. They're like incredibly fast.
There's a picture of one of these Mustang Mach-E's, and they've got the hood open, which is, the boot, essentially.
There's no engine.
They're eating Buffalo Wild Wings.
Wait a minute.
Well,
what is this really powered by?
Yeah. What
the fuck?
Like, we can't have anything nice. Like, 2 steps forward with an EV car and 3 back with the fucking Buffalo Wild Wings. It's like,
oh yeah. I'm gonna get my new Mustang and then go.
Welcome to Flavor Town,
Wild
bitch.
Wings. Fucking all the environment I'm saving by driving this car, and hell yeah. Oh, I didn't realize that the front was completely full. Now that you've pasted this photo for where the rest of us can see it, that this is an actual disaster.
Fuck?
I am not seeing this.
And if you could put this up, this is I am feeling bad. I
thought I knew what the thumbnail for the Bombcast was, but
how are people smiling in this photograph?
Because they're being paid to smile.
Smiling and dipping.
What is this? Did they not even put anything down in the front trunk?
I don't think so.
I love how they have one small dainty pair of tongs.
Yeah, that's
and then just like a giant bowl of ranch.
Yeah.
What the hell is this?
What is happening? All right, I don't.
The guy dipping is almost like, can you believe this is happening?
Can you believe we're doing this? This is such a bad idea. Don't you love how the internet rewards goofy shit like this now over everything else?
Right? This is your currency now.
How silly.
We're influencing the shit out of shit up here, is what that guy is saying to his friends.
Wow.
Speaking of brands and products, this is our this is, I feel like, if ever there was a meeting of the interests of the world, when the world needs to heal, I feel like this is a sign that we will get there. Pepsi has partnered with, I believe the company is named Boston Beer, and they are scheduled to release early next year Hard Mountain Dew.
Yes. Give it to me.
Hard Mountain Dew. I believe it is 9%.
Give it to me with caffeine, damn it.
Yeah, I know, right? That's the, yes. 3 flavors, original black cherry and watermelon. This is Wilbur in Omaha was the person who wrote in to ask about this, but I saw this morning. And that's something I'm very interested in. That's something that is that's something I would like to know more about. Nice hazy. I'm gonna roll these cans to make sure. Yeah, zero sugar.
No, it's probably healthy for me.
Hold on.
Yeah, it's probably it's like vitamins.
Hold on.
Yeah.
And then you maniacs are like, put caffeine in it too. I want it to explode my heart right away. Let's do it.
Are you
guys, you don't want that?
Are you guys seeing? Oh, no.
Okay. Oh, now you're showing the.
What?
Okay.
You're showing
There's
our. Oh, it's a shrimp cocktail.
Shrimp's cocktail. Now they've gone too far, and this woman's face again has the like. Can you believe this shit?
Oh, it's filthy.
Wait, I need to know more about these now 2 different food setting environments in a Mustang Mach-E front trunk.
Are these stock photos?
Did they shoot I don't know. Different? Is there one with cannolis in it? Is there one with just chicken parms? Is there just like chicken parm in one of these Mustangs?
I don't feel so good.
Yeah. That doesn't seem right.
Why you don't want the caffeine in the alcoholic beverage.
Listen, Mom.
Why not?
I'm just saying there's a reason. I mean, look, I realize it's not banned in other territories, but like whenever you hear a story about, did you hear what happened to Doug? He drank 7 Red Bulls and vodka, and we don't know where he is now. He's just gone.
Doug was a rookie. He deserved what he got, man.
He just vanished. It was just instantaneous combustion.
Personally, and I can only speak from my personal experience, but also from the people around me who were also about that life. I have never witnessed anyone become blackout drunk on caffeinated on Sparks or Four Loko, or Mickey's had Mickey's Sting or whatever they were calling it. RIP for sure. When all those brands were around and we all stopped drinking Red Bull and vodka and started drinking those instead because they were somehow they just inspired more delinquency. I never, all these stories. So that's why when they started trying to ban them, all the stories that were going around about like, they blackout drunk and these college kids are having all these problems with this and that. And it's just like, what is going on? Like, what's the big deal? Like, it's like, God, they banned ephedrine and suddenly everyone gets soft. God damn. No,
yes, this Mountain Dew could use more meth. I agree.
And yeah, so I don't know. Like there's a part of me that wants that back, but also that was a long time ago, and I'm certainly not able to. I would not have time to live that life that way. But that said, nothing wrong with Red Bull and vodka. It's what I drank before Sparks came along. It's what I drank after they took it from us.
They took it from first. They came for the Red Bull and vodka.
Right. That's what happened. I said nothing, and then now they're making us get vaccinated. Think about that. No. If they hadn't banned the Sparks, then maybe none of this would have happened, because that's going to clean you out.
Oh, God.
It's caffeine, it's alcohol, it's hydroxychloroquine. Sparks is just good for you. That's just medicine, man. No. It's probably for the best that stuff got banned, and it probably is for the best that got banned at the time it did, because I feel like there was a number of us that were teetering on some kind of brink there for a while.
Circling the drain, maybe?
Yeah.
The Woodstock 99 of alcoholic beverages.
I feel like some people can like know where they want to stop with putting stuff in their body, And some people are like, this is fun, but there's got to be something that we can get that is like way more illegal than this, and let's get into that instead. And you're like, I don't want to hang out with these people anymore.
I did some quick math, and then the capacity of the Mach-E front trunk
good.
is 36 gallons, so you could theoretically dump 288 cans of Sparks into that bad boy and just have a good old punch.
Yeah. Oh, thanks for that, Jen. Appreciate that information. Yeah,
just give everybody one straw and just pass that around.
I don't know why that's worse than just like digging out of it.
Like, this is what I don't understand. There's no practical application for the shrimp cocktail in your front trunk. Like, where did you do why did you do this? You wanted to ruin your Mustang? You're like, hey, how do we ruin this Mustang? Let's just put a bunch of like, shrimp seafood in there. It's not going to smell bad after the fact. This is going to be just fine.
You guys can't see my mouse,
Frunk.
but I'm like hovering around what I believe is like some type of fluid valve to the side of the shrimp.
Yeah. Maybe
Under
that's
the
like
plate.
windshield
To the side
fluid
of the
or
shrimp.
something. Or
Yeah.
tartar sauce,
Jesus.
either or.
Yeah.
And just the idea that
Of like how close they are.
yeah.
Like this car driving down the highway, sucking up bugs and all this other turnpike shit. And then you're like, all right, clean it out, pour the ice in. Where are these shrimps at?
This car never got driven. This is a
I know.
dealer doing this.
I know, but still. Play the theater of the mind with me.
It's equipped with a plastic liner, it says the story. So yeah, I don't know. That's
And you can drain it. There's a drain valve for all your shrimp juice.
who is shrimp like this though?
But think about it this way: like, what if you were you can't tailgate with a front trunk, so. But what if you filled it up with ice and threw a bunch of beers in there and then drove down?
There's a picture for that actually.
I mean, that's actually not the worst, because if it does have a drainage valve,
it's drainage valve. It's just water. It kind of.
It's fine. I mean, okay, I'll suspend my disbelief and go along with you on the ride of front trunk cooler mode. Like, sure, let's do that.
Stop off for a gas station shower and
I need some ice. I need ice. Let's get it.
If you can get like a converter, you can plug in a sous vide into your car, and then while you're driving home, dinner's all ready, baby.
Oh, fuck yeah.
It's just all cooling down and cooking in your frunk.
Yeah. Well, what if you got something like that and you're just like, all right, it's time to live large. We're going to fill this up with chicken skin and then just drive down and me and the homies eating all this chicken skin out of my frunk.
Pull over. I need another slice.
Is that something? How many people? How many times do you think that phrase has been uttered with this type of hand motion by someone with one of these or a similar vehicle? Someone's like, "Get up in my front, dog." Is that?
I thought I had an episode title, but
is that happening? Is it happening on the reg? Is that something that's like? No. All right.
Oh my god.
Frunk.
Well, that's gonna do it for emails forever. Forever. Yeah, you want to send in some emails about video games? You can. I don't know. Someone sent an email with a picture of the Halo arcade game, Fireteam Raven, the light gun game. It's not a great game, and some other stuff like that. But be the bomb you throw over at Bombcast at giantbomb.com. Submit the emails you want. Take the show in the direction you want to see it go in. If you want it to be more about Frunk's full of chicken skin, you can do that, or you could send in emails about video games. We do that too sometimes. Whatever you want, or your puppets. Let's do it for the show. Everybody have a fantastic week. I will be around this. So program note: Young Professional Fridays will happen on Thursday this week, as the company has seen fit to give us a day off. It was actually last Friday, but we didn't take it then. We decided we'd move it to this Friday, and so we're going to do the show Thursday, and then there'll be some stuff posting on Friday for y'all to watch as well. And then program note number 2, I'll be out next week because I'm moving, so that'll be crazy. I got to call utility companies and say things like, hey, don't turn that power off, just charge me for it instead.
Yep.
Which I didn't realize you had to do, but of course you have to do it. So yes, I'll be out for that, and then hopefully, with any luck, back in by the Friday of that week. But who knows? A lot of things have to line up perfectly for that to happen. But I should be back the following week to chop it up with y'all for episode 700. Apparently,
wow.
Apparently, we will have done 700 of these fucking things.
You three are the perfect people to ask this, but I'm gonna expense one of these Mach E's just to rent, just so I can drive up with a frunk full of something.
Dragon soup?
Something frunky.
Yeah. Nice. That's that seems reasonable. That's
get Ford, get Will Smith to get jiggy with it, but get frunky with it.
Wow. How many lives must you ruin?
What about like a play that frunky music white boy? Could you get like a Vanilla Ice involved?
Oh.
Would you want to? Probably not.
Jeff,
you would not want to.
Oh, I want to.
Yeah.
Would probably not want to.
Probably not. Rob Van Winkle out there.
If you have a frunk, I don't know.
Was he there on the 6th? He seemed like he would have been.
Send a picture of your frunk.
Yeah. Yes, please send us pictures of your frunk, just like the t-shirt says. Be back next week.
Frunk's gone wild.
Frunk. My hat says Frunk Inspector.
Terry Frunk.